And good evening, everyone, live from Everwise Freed Field here on the campus of Penn High School here in beautiful Osceola, Indiana. This is Penn Kingsman football on the Regional Radio Sports Network on 91.1 FM The Globe and on globeradio.org. We welcome you to Week 7 of the Indiana High School football season. Tonight, we've got a battle between two undefeated teams in the Northern Indiana Conference, as it's the Elkhart Lions at 5-1 overall and 4-0 in conference play, as they're taking on your Penn Kingsmen at 5-1 overall and 4-0 in the NIC. Both these teams also ranked number 11 in the latest Indiana Football Coaches Association polls for Class 6A. Once again, good evening, folks, and we welcome you to the press box from here at Freed Field alongside my team. To my left, as always, Matt Lillier, and to my right, as always, Matt Compsey. My name is Tanner Camp. As we get ready to set the stage for you here, the Penn Kingsmen under first-year head coach Pete Reardon matched their season high in points this season as they spoiled South Bend Adams' homecoming last week by winning 49-14 against the Eagles. And their opponent tonight, the Elkhart Lions, under the direction of first-year head coach Trevon Curry. Last week for the Lions, even though it was tied at 1 point in the third quarter, they managed to score 21 points in the last two quarters to walk out of Father Bly Field with a 38-17 win over the South Bend St. Joseph Huskies. This is going to be the seventh beating all-time between the Lions and the Kingsmen, and the fifth in the regular season, with Penn leading the series 5-1, as the Kingsmen last year won both the regular season and postseason contests, shutting out the Lions 21-0 in the regular season and 35-0 in postseason play. The Kingsmen have won 5 straight meetings against Elkhart, and the last time that Elkhart defeated Penn, you got to go back to September 18th in 2020 with a 20-19 victory at Elkhart. It was also the first meeting between the two schools since Elkhart Memorial and Elkhart Central combined into one big school. High school football on the Regional Radio Sports Network is presented by the Lillier Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency on Lincoln Way West in Osceola. Harrison Sons Construction, Chris Neal State Farm Insurance on East State Road in Mishawaka. Beef O'Brady's Good Food, Good Sports, located at the intersection of State Road 23 and Bittersweet in Granger. McDonald Physical Therapy on Hickory Road in South Bend. Clover Machinery Movers on Clover Road in Mishawaka. A's Rental, where one call rents it all on Edison Road in Mishawaka. Guidance 12, our season sponsor of the Penn kicking team, located on Windsor Court and Elkhart. Zolman Tire, with locations in South Bend, Mishawaka, Granger, and Niles in Michigan, and on the web at zolmantire.com. A 2024 Indiana Football Digest. More information available at indianafootballdigest.com. The Coach's Box join Hall of Famer Paul Condrey Thursday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time from Beef O'Brady's in Granger. Cuba Networks, your technology advocate for security, communications, enterprising networks, and computer support. Eric Gunther, State Farm Insurance for life, home, car insurance, and more in South Bend. And Matt Compsey, like a good neighbor,
State Farm is there.
The Beeler Law Office and Penn grad Ray Beeler, offering her clients estate planning, probate administration, and bankruptcy, business, guardianship, and other family services on 3430 Bremen Highway in Mishawaka, next to the 331 Meyer store. Flags International, providing Penn Kingsman international and sports flags on McKinley Highway in Osceola, and on the web at flagsinternational.com. The Ronald McDonald House Charities, providing comfort and care for sick and injured children all across Michiana. To donate or volunteer, the website is rmhcmichiana.org. And Ivy Tech Community College, the goal isn't just graduation day, it's a better every day after. Let's take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, I'll bring in Matt Lillier and Matt Compsey, as we got a very important game in the Northern Indiana Conference standings. These two teams, they're undefeated in the conference. They're also 5-1 overall, and both ranked 11th in the latest IFCA polls in Class 6A. So a lot on the line tonight, and we're so glad you could tune in from here on 91.1 FM The Globe and RRSN.com. Let's send things back over to Cormac Kuplicki, and we'll be right back with more after this 2-minute timeout here. You are listening to Penn Kingsman football from Everwise Freed Field here in Osceola on 91.1 FM The Globe and the Regional Radio Sports Network.
For 30 years, the Lilliard Insurance Agency has been a proud sponsor of local sports in Michiana. The Lilliard Insurance Agency is an independent insurance provider which offers its customers auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. They are located at 410 Lincoln Way West in Osceola. For more information, the phone number is 574-674-0015, and their website is realvalueins.com. That's REALVALUEINS.com.
Live in Beef O'Brady's in Granger, it's the Coach's Box every Thursday night at 6 on 91.1 The Globe, hosted by Indiana Hall of Fame broadcaster Paul Condrey. The Coaches Box features in-depth interviews with high school and collegiate level athletes from all around the region. Get the inside scoop from coaches and get a good look at the behind-the-scenes world of Indiana athletics. Tune into the Coaches Box, once again live every Thursday at 6 on 91.1 The Globe.
Beef O'Brady's is a locally owned, family-operated restaurant designed for food and sports, featuring appetizers, wraps, pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and wings. Beef O'Brady's also broadcasts televised sporting events. The State Road 23 Granger location has carryout service and includes a party room and outside patio. More information is available on their website, beefobradys.com, or by calling 574-271-1415. Again, that's 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's. Good food, good sports.
The 2024 Indiana Football Digest is now available for online order at indianafootballdigest.com. This year's digest is packed to the brim not only with stats and scores, but in-depth and detailed analysis on each Indiana High School Athletic Association team. It also features a section on Indiana collegiate football and quotes from coaches from all around the state, giving readers an inside look at Indiana high school football. The 2024 Indiana Football Digest is available online at indianafootballdigest.com.
Welcome you back here on the Regional Radio Sports Network and 91.1 FM The Globe. Once again, huge shout-out to Cormac Kuflichty for spinning the dials and getting us on and off the air throughout the course of tonight. It's also homecoming from here at Penn High School as your Kingsmen get ready to take on the Elkhart Lions. Let's go ahead and get a scouting report for both teams. Let's bring in both Matt Lillard and Matt Compsey. And Matt Lillard, of course, last week for the Kingsmen, and we had first-year head coach Pete Reardon talk about this. It started off with a long, methodical drive that took well over 8 minutes into the game, and the Kingsmen were able to score and capitalize. And once they found that rhythm, what do? On the very first Adams offensive play, they pick it off, and they end up scoring again, both scores coming from Jadon Parker. And really, the rest of that game goes as told that the Kingsmen just straight-up dominated. And that opening drive really set the tone for the Kingsmen. I got to tell you what, if you're head coach Pete Reardon, you were really pleased with the fact that once the Kingsmen had their foot on the gas pedal, there was no stopping them until that clock hit zero.
Very true, Tanner. You know, an 18-play drive is attributed usually to one thing, good offensive line play, and that's one of the reasons they got the MVP of the game last week. An 18-play drive is impressive. You don't see that very often, and it usually means you're just grinding the ball down the field, 3, 4, 5, 6 yards at a time. First down every 3 plays. Offensive linemen love that kind of stuff. Offensive line coaches and offensive coaches love that kind of stuff. Hope to see some of that here tonight.
And then Matt Compsey, when you also look at the defensive side of the ball, the Wild Bunch continues to improve. And Matt Lillard, I'm sure you could agree with this too, continues to improve. They got their now 7th interception on the year and 5th from Peyton Horner himself. And the Wild Bunch continues to improve. And they're going to need to step up in a really big way because they're going against an offensive line. And I know Matt Lillard has the numbers on the height and weight average for the line. And I tell you what, it's going to be really important for that defensive line of the Wild Bunch to make a big impact and put pressure on this Elkhart Lions offense.
Well, really, since the Mishawaka game, the Penn defensive line is dominated up front. They've made life tough on opposing quarterbacks and made life tough on opposing offenses in general. And I think a lot of that starts with what Christian Bonner and Quinn Snyder have been able to accomplish. But tonight they're facing an offensive line that kind of has it's probably one of the biggest ones they're going to face all year, with the size and the size and the weight that they have. So I think that Penn just has to try to hold their own and try to match the athleticism at the line of scrimmage.
And then Matt Lillard, we talked about this Elkhart team. Of course, their big story over the summer was Trevon Curry. Spent many, many years both at Elkhart Central during their time, and then once Central and Memorial combined into one big school, he got the head coaching job after 2 years with Robinson St. Louis. And I tell you what, the entire community there was extremely happy. And I tell you what, he has proven to be successful. And the players that he's got on this team, this has been a really impressive group since their Week 1 loss, 13-12 to now undefeated and the number 1 team in 5A in Concord.
You say this is a completely different Elkhart team this year, but it really isn't. You're 1 year removed from last year. The big difference when you see a 5-1 team versus a team that might be 2-3 or 3-2 is a lot of times coaching. It's a lot of the values you instill in players, the discipline that you demand from them, and the sharpness that you demand on Friday night. And then you go back to the size of the line. These guys are big. These are large human beings. The average offensive lineman for Elkhart is 6'2", 297. Those are big people. The average defensive lineman is 6'3", 250. These are guys that aren't going to be able to be pushed around easily. You're going to the winner of this game is going to win in the trenches. And that's the bottom line for this one. Whoever wins in the trenches should take this win home tonight. But also the other thing what we talked about before the game, both of these offenses run through the running game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they both flow through the running game. Both teams pass when they need to generally. And between the offensive line play and being able to be successful through the air, that's the second key to this game. Whoever does those two things the best should take home this win.
Yeah, and we say that often about that line up front, but Matt Copsey, I know you have a thought also with that as well.
Well, I was just going to say, with the exception of the Valparaiso game, Penn has tried a concerted effort to throw the football. We've seen Kellen Watson out here try to make a concerted effort to throw the ball, mainly to Tayshawn Bardo. We've seen him get a couple out of the backfield as well. Quinn Ross has tried to do the same thing. In contrast, Quinn Ross has tried to do the same thing for Elkhart. It's just that both these teams have talented runners, and that's what they want to do. They're trying to use the run to set up the pass.
And then, of course, like some of the other side, when you look at the defensive side of the ball, Matt Copsey, really it all starts with the defensive lineman and the future Tennessee Volunteer and Marion Dye. And he's not alone. He's also got Carmine Orozco, who's heading off to Ohio to join the Miami Redhawks. And there are a number of other key pieces on this Elkhart Lion team. And really one of the other ones we got to talk about for tonight, London Johnson. 5 interceptions, so similar to Peyton Horner. So needless to say, both defenses are going to be in for a long night tonight. But this Elkhart defense is impressive, which is led by Marion Dye.
Well, and a lot of it, and we were talking about Marion Dye's stats at before we went on the air, and, they said, for someone that's going to Tennessee, his stats don't look that impressive. But the thing about it is if you have to consider, a lot of times he's having 2 or 3 people put on him, so he's basically just trying to everybody else is benefiting from around him. And I just think that what they've done is they've made a great job up front of stopping the run game because of him and everybody else. He's made everybody else around him better.
And then as we get ready, we're going to go ahead and Matt Lillier, we talk about this. You look at the stats and you look at a guy like Marion Dye, and like Matt Copsey mentioned with it, that means other guys now need to step up. I mean, I showed you my game card, the number of guys that have more tackles than him, but why is that? Because, and we could probably expect this tonight from Coach Reardon. We know he's a defensive guy, plain and simple. They know Marion Dye is going to be the guy that they need to slow down, so he's going to be another key figure. I remember you guys called out his name a number of times last year, and I'm sure Coach Reardon keeps that in consideration for tonight's game too.
Well, you definitely have to scheme for players like Marion Dye. You have to make sure that he's accounted for on every play. And I think that's kind of probably what's happening to him this season is guys are having to account for him. And that's allowing other players on this team to make some tackles. And one of the big names, and one that might be familiar to some people around here, is Cross Jones. Cross Jones playing middle linebacker, only a sophomore. Auden Jones's younger brother from the Penn team last year that you might recognize. He's leading the team with tackles for losses, and sacks. So, it's not just Marion Dye that's out there making plays. It's this entire defense. And they're senior heavy. They have 8 seniors on this defensive front.
That goes a long way, and it is shown right now. I had a chance to catch up with Trevon Curry, first-year head coach for the Elkhart Lions. Had a chance to catch up with him about the importance of tonight's game and much more to come here for the Lions. Had a chance to catch up and go one-on-one with Trevon Curry of the Elkhart Lions. High school football here on the Regional Radio Sports Network and on 91.1 FM The Globe. A huge Northern Indiana Conference battle here at Freed Field. The Elkhart Lions make the trip to take on the Penn Canes. Again, great to have Trevon Curry here for the Lions. And, Coach, what success that you have had this year. Undefeated in conference play, 5-1, the only loss of the 13-12 to a now undefeated Concord team. They've had a great season. So at this point in the season, you got to be really proud of how your kids are playing. What are some of the biggest things that you are most proud of with this point in the season?
I'm just proud by how our boys have bought in and just left it all out on the field each game that we've been in. Again, we lost a close one to a really good Concord team and been rolling since then, but I'm proud of our boys on how they have bought in and been coachable the whole time.
And I tell you what, a lot of key pieces, and of course you knew I had to ask about it. When you're on the cover of the Indiana Football Digest for the Primetime 25 Marion Dye, and I got to tell you what, not only is he a great football player who's going to Tennessee next year? He is a great young man. He is going to change the life of many others, and I got a chance to meet him at the Gritties. He is someone that not only represents your football program for what he does on the field, but off the field as well. Just tell us what it's like to have kids like Marion that help represent your team, not just in terms of your wins, but also in terms of your program.
Yeah, Marion is an amazing young man, and I've had the pleasure of knowing him since he was in grade school, since a youngin'. So it doesn't surprise me that he is who he is now. A lot of other people are getting to see his true gifts at the end of the day. But you hit on the head. He's going to be successful on the football field and in life. He's a natural leader, and people just gravitate to him. But he's a kid that understands the bigger picture at the end of the day, so he does nothing to put his family or himself in jeopardy.
Now that you're at this point in the season, we were in week 7. You've been a part of this Elkhart staff, whether it was during the Central days and now when it joined to one school. You've been waiting for this opportunity, and you're certainly succeeding with that. I remember many communities were very happy when you finally got the gig, not just for what you've done, as I mentioned, with on the field for the wins and losses, but plain and simple for the impact that you've made. And a lot of the players, I looked back on the kickoff show, and both Kate and Quinn were extremely happy when you got that gig. Just tell us what it is like now that you're at this point and the success that you've had. What are some of the things that you've learned about yourself now that you're the head coach for the Lions?
I've learned that have a little bit more patience than I thought I did. I got a good staff that kind of hones me in when I'm getting a little crazy, but I'm just blessed with the people who follow me and want to help me succeed at the end of the day, and our community just buying in and supporting us. So there's some things I got to get better at week in and week out, but I got a great staff that helps keep me locked in, and I'm learning as we go. So, yeah.
And we take a look at some of the other players. We already talked about Marion, but I tell you what, when you got other guys on the team, especially, Carmine Orozco is a great player, Novell Miller, and that's the thing. It's not just on the offense or the defense. I mean, both units, and even the special teams is very impressive, and that's what makes your team so dangerous right now. And you want to be playing great football during that time of postseason play, because the pairing show coming out here very soon, and you guys got to get ready because you'll have the bye week and then prepare for whoever it may be. What are some of the biggest things that you want your team to learn during this next stretch of games before postseason play?
We got some stiff opponents coming up. So, again, tonight's going to be a battle. We got another one coming up next week. So we just got to continue getting better, play discipline, play physical, but clean up our mistakes. We're going to make some mistakes, but we got to correct them and can't have repeated mistakes. But just be coachable and keep it moving and give 110%, so we'll be fine.
And then, Coach, as we take a look at this Penn team, similar situation that Coach Reardon was in. He's a first-year guy now. He's also a former defensive coordinator, so a lot of similarities in plain and simple, Coach. These are the two best teams in the Northern Indiana Conference. So in order for the Lions to stay undefeated and win on the road, what do you have to do to beat the Kingsmen?
We got to execute, be disciplined, and be more physical than them all night.
And once again, great to get to catch up with Javon Curry here for the Elkhart Lions in his first season with the Lions, 5-1 overall, a graduate from Elkhart Central in 2005. He's been on the staff of Elkhart Central since 2009 and stayed on the staff, including when the school combined from Central Memorial into Elkhart High School. And he most recently served as the defensive coordinator before being promoted to the head coach of the Lions in December of 2023. We're going to keep our pregame coverage moving along. I had a chance to catch up with the first-year head coach for the Penn Kingsmen and Pete Reardon on this fairly windy day here in Osceola, Indiana. And so once again, our one-on-one conversation with Pete Reardon, the head coach for the Kingsmen. Penn High School football here on 91.1 FM The Globe and the Regional Radio Sports Network. Big NIC battle here tonight at Freed Field as the Penn Kingsmen get ready to take on the Elkhart Lions. Battle the two unbeaten. Tanner Camp here with Pete Reardon. And Coach, last time out, convincing win against Southland Adams on their homecoming over at Everwise School Field. Tell you what, good way for you guys to continue that great stretch offensively. What were some of the other big pieces you were most impressed with in the win against the Eagles?
Well, I think it started with the offense in the first drive. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they had about an 8-minute, 18-play drive, so that was great to see. We had a few mistakes here and there, but it was good to see them overcome some small mistakes. So that was really a positive. Defensively, we took the ball away in the first possession, which was always a positive for us. Give the ball back to the offense in good position, and then kind of took it from there, and the floodgates opened. So those were good things.
And one of the other parts that I really liked was, despite once you put your backups in, and the game was kind of decided once it went to running clock, one of the parts I liked, those 3 deeps or the 4 deeps, they went in and treated it as if they were playing for a sectional championship. And you got to like that from those players who may not see much field time, but they got to be ready because you never know what happens with it. Look at Jadon Parker. He wasn't expected to be a running back, and now he's your number one option, doing a great job at that spot. Just tell us what that means when you have your players who are always ready. Whenever their name is called, they're ready to step up for you.
Well, obviously it's huge when guys can do that. The saying around here for decades, going back to Coach Giesman, was the expectation is on the position, not the player. And so we hit that hard with everybody at halftime, making sure they understood, hey, when you get your chance, it's an opportunity, take advantage of it. You've been trained, you've been practiced, you deserve this opportunity, so go ahead and take advantage of it.
when you take a look at how the conference is right now, you played a good non-conference schedule, obviously with Valpo and Mishawaka. I know the goal is always to be undefeated, but you have to play those tough non-conference teams, and you've taken care of business here in the conference play. Just tell us a little bit about just in-conference play, how you think the team is progressive as you get ready for, no question, your biggest test here tonight.
Well, obviously, the Valparaiso game was exciting. It was a great opener for a lot of reasons, and then some of the mistakes we made in the Valparaiso game showed up again in Mishawaka. So it was good for us to kind of, never good to lose, but it's good to learn from those mistakes and kind of, for our players and coaches to realize, hey, look, we've got to do a better job. And I think both the coaches and players responded well. And since then, we've had a lot of positive momentum. We look forward to keeping that going tonight against a very good team.
And let's take a look at this Elkhart team. Tell you what, Coach Curry has done a marvelous job, and they're good on both sides of the ball. And whether it's Novell Miller on the ground for the offense, or whether it's Marion Dye on the line defensively, I mean, they are absolutely great. And really what I believe are the two best teams in the NIC battle in and out tonight, and who can make some noise in postseason play. So in order for the Kingsmen to stay undefeated and protect your home field here on homecoming, what do you have to do to tame the Lions tonight?
Well, I think we have to stay ahead of the downs. Being in long yardage situations is going to make things difficult for us. So, making sure we avoid those, unforced errors and pre-snap penalties that would potentially put us in those situations. And obviously, we need to take care of the football. Defensively, we need to continue to fly around, tackle well. Been good progress in that in the last several weeks, and hopefully keep that going.
And, Coach, to finally wrap it up, it's obviously homecoming. We've seen the parade. We've seen all the excitement around here, and including what's going to be happening at halftime and soon. Just what does that mean to you when you see so many people here in support for homecoming? Obviously, they're going to get a great game tonight here against the Lions. But what does it mean when you see so many people that are here in support here for homecoming?
Well, it's a reflection of how great a community we have and how lucky our players are to have such support here in the Penn Madison School Corporation, and not just from the community, but obviously from everything that the administration, starting with the ESC down to the school administration, the athletic department, everything they plan to make this a great night for everybody, not just our players, but for everyone else that comes out for this game. So it's a great thing. It's a fun thing, and it's a lot of fun to be a part of.
That's Pete Reardon, head coach of the Penn Kingsmen. Coach, always a pleasure to be here at Freed Field. Best of luck here in tonight's contest.
Thanks, Tanner. I appreciate it.
And always great to get to catch up with Pete Reardon, the first-year head coach here for the Penn Kingsmen. And with that, now we're going to go ahead and get ready to look at our Zolman Tire starting lineups here for tonight. As a reminder, in 1963, Bud Zolman began working in the tire and automotive service industry. After many years of working hard and of hard work and dedication, he and his wife Diane founded Zolman's Tires in 1978, over 45 years ago, under the leadership of their son Nate Zolman. Zolman's Best One Tire and Auto now has 8 retail locations and 3 fleet locations, serving you and your family for 3 generations. Zolman's Best One Tire and Auto Care. Let's go ahead and first things first, take a look at the starting lineup for the Gold Rush. That's the Penn offense here for tonight. And in the line up front, no changes for the Gold Rush. It's going to go with the same, starting with the left tackle and working to the right tackle. It's going to be Gavin McGee at number 78, number 65, A.J. Needham, and the center spot going to be number 59, Aiden Deal, number 56 in the right guard, in the right guard spot, in Pat Connery, and in the right tackle spot going to be number 71, Brody Brown. So McGee, Needham, Deal, Connery, and Brown, the line up front for the Gold Rush. The feature receivers in the slots for the Gold Rush going to be number 1, Tayshawn Bardo, number 4, Cohen Turner, number 11, Jeremiah Mitchell. In that tight end spot going to be the big fella standing at 6'4", 255 pounds for the junior in Cole Bennett. The feature back going to be number 14, Jadon Parker, started as a receiver, and now he's a running back for the 5'11 junior wearing jersey number 14. And the Gold Rush at the controls of the 6'3 senior quarterback at 190 pounds in number 3, Kellen Watson. Once again, that's the Penn offense, and the Elkhart defense, they'll be seen tonight. The line up front, very impressive and very good, and it really starts up front with number 99, Marion Dye. In the middle, number 37, in Caden Donovan, and 94, Carmine Orozco. So once again, Dye, Donovan, and Orozco, the 3 up front for the Elkhart Lions. In the middle, going to be number 44, Chance McCullough. Number 8, Cross Jones, leading the team in tackles with 32 for the 6-foot sophomore. In the middle, going to be number 0, Tyree Counson. Number 44, Nick Bosworth, also in the middle. And keep an eye on number 33, Anthony Leonard, in the middle here for the Lions. And the featured backs in the safety spots here for the Lions. Number 22, Zach Anderson. Number 9, Chase Buzzard. And number 20, London Johnson. This is an Elkhart team. They have got 14 interceptions, and London Johnson has got 5 of those to his name. So that is the Penn offense going against the Elkhart defense. We flip the card and we take a look at the Elkhart offense now. The line up front is featured in the left tackle spot by number 66, Kyle Summer. Number 51 in the left guard spot, Nate Franklin. In the middle at the center control spot, going to be number 55, Keaton Thompson. In the right tackle spot, guard spot, number 77, Cordero McPhee. And rounding it out in the right guard spot, going to be number 72, Ethan Mann. So once again, Summer, Franklin, Thompson, McPhee, and Mann, the feature, the linemen up front here for the Lions. The feature receivers are going to be number 17, Kay Tybrakowski, number 14, Carson Pollard, number 11 in Keelan Fred, and also another key player who can be dangerous on the ground and through the air is going to be number 3, Connor Dow. The feature back here for the Lions going to be number 2, Novell Miller, the 5'9 senior. And at the controls of this Lions offense, number 6, Quinn Ross, the 6 foot, 190-pound senior. Meanwhile, time to meet the Wild Bunch defense here, and it starts up front, and it's the exact same as it has been from week number 1. 98, Christian Bonner. 53, J.T. Seeger. 55, John White. And 97, Quinn Watson for the Wild Bunch. Once again, Bonner, Seeger, White, and Watson. Meanwhile, in the middle for the Wild Bunch, going to be number 42, Kenny Welsh. Number 9, Wilson Thomas. And number 34, Wrigley Holland. Meanwhile, the secondary for the Wild Bunch as the Kingsmen ready to enter out onto the field here very, very soon with the band playing in the background. Number 21, Colton Hernandez. Number 7, Vinny Freeman. Number 23, Joey DePalma. And number 2, Peyton Horner. That's the Elkhart offense going against the Penn defense. Of course, we got a lot of other games going on, and Matt, a lot of other games that really could be a big part of everyone's conference standings. We got a number going on here in week number 7.
Yeah, other games around the NIC. New Prairie is over at Marion tonight. Adams and Washington playing over at Everwise Schoolfield. And over at Jacksonville, South Bend St. Joe's taking on Riley. In the Northern Lakes Conference, Concord could move one step to closer to a conference championship. They're taking on Goshen. Mishawaka's down at Fisher Field in Warsaw taking on the Tigers. Northwood is at Plymouth, and Wawasee is at Northridge. In the Indiana Northern State Conference, Bremen is taking on Culver Academy. Glenn is at LaVille. Knox is at Jimtown, and Tippecanoe Valley down in the Kokomo area taking on Western. And in the Duneland Conference, Chesterton is at Lake Central. Crown Point is at LaPorte. Michigan City is at Portage. In the big game tonight, over at the Demery Stadium, Valparaiso taking on Maryville.
So as the Kingsmen get ready to enter onto the field, it's time for our Flags International Weather Report. Of course, tonight's game time weather report is presented by Flags International. Flags International offers Penn Kingsman flags alongside different kinds of American and international flags, sports flags, and flagpole installations through their website, flagsinternational.com, and at the retail location at 10845 McKinley Highway in Osceola. The phone number for Flags International is 800-627-3524. And right now, and it is kind of evident in the interview with Pete Reardon, right now 71 degrees and wind coming from the north to northeast at about 9 miles per hour, and the night is going to get cooler throughout the night. But Matt Lillier, you remember what it was like putting on the helmet and the pads both here at Penn and also at Findlay, and I tell you what, with the night getting cooler, you want to talk about great football weather. I don't know about you, but for me, this would probably be the most ideal football weather for a number of these young kids here.
That's right. Give you 60 to 70 degrees, mild wind, no rain. I'll take it, man. That's perfect football weather.
And so, of course, as a reminder, in case it's your first time tuning in to Penn Kingsman football, Everwise Freed Field is a north-to-south turf field, and we are in the home press box facing the east. And trust me, it's good, because if we were coming the other way, as Matt Lillier and I know, the sun was right in our eyes, and we tested that while we were getting our interviews. Our officials here for tonight's contest, it's going to be here. Our main referee looks like it's going to be James Craig. The umpire is going to be Mark Mettler. The head linesman going to be Mark Herberger. The line judge going to be Chris Green, and the back judge is going to be Jalen Harris. So those are our officials here for tonight's contest, as the two teams now meeting and walking out onto the field right where it says Penn, right across the midfield stripe. Of course, for the Penn Kingsmen, black shirts, black pants with the white numbering, which is right on the back, and those, of course, iconic Penn helmets in the old gold, as the Vegas gold, as well as the black lettering with Penn written right across. And meanwhile, for the Elkhart Lions, they're going with the white shirts up top, the white pants down low. They've got Elkhart up top, and in blue with the gold right around the trim. And for the Elkhart Lions, it's the blue helmets as well as the blue face mask. And so as the two captains meeting, and all the captains meeting in the middle, and both teams, they are fired up as their captains head back. And Coin toss has just happened, Matt Copsey.
Elkhart won the toss and deferred, so Penn's going to get the ball to start out right away.
And so it's going to be important on this opening drive. And Matt Copsey, as we talked with Matt Lillier about that opening drive, really set the tone for the South Bend Adams game last week. And you got to think that it very well could do the same thing here tonight.
Well, I think and we talked about it a little bit in our pregame, I think both teams want to establish the line of scrimmage. They want to be the one that's dominating that line and to make things happen. And I think Penn's going to try to come out and do it. I think what happens in the first couple plays is going to dictate what's going to happen the rest of the night.
We are so glad that you could tune in all season long here for Penn football. Once again, Tanner Camp, Matt Lillier, Matt Copsey, the same crew that's been the same all season long. And don't forget, on October 13th, that's going to be the IHSAA High School Football Pairing Shows to find out who Penn will play. There are three teams. It's either going to be Crown Point, Lake Central, or Portage, all with the same goal to win their sectional and get one step closer to going to Lucas Oil Stadium.
One thing for certain is that they won't play the first week because they'll have the first week off.
That is correct.
It's 5A and 6A since they only have 32 teams. They will have their first game won't be until November 1st.
So now the Elkhart Lions get ready to kick this one away. And once again, it's Jeremiah Aguilera kicking it away. And we are underway. And ball is kicked and picked up right from the 1-yard line. And the Kingsmen have it opening to the near side, still on his feet. And look at him go now here for the Kingsmen and still going. Colton Hernandez, and he is pushed out of bounds right around the 45-yard line in Elkhart territory. So it's Colton Hernandez who gets the Kingsmen off to a roaring start here in this important NIC battle.
On a kickoff like that, this is exactly what you want to start off the homecoming game. Starting their offense off on the other team's side of the field. Penn offense, you can feel it in the air here tonight. This is a big game. There's a lot more people in the press box than we normally have. There's a lot of people in the stands, and there's a ton of fans from the visiting side too. This is exciting.
52-yard kickoff return.
That's a great start for the Kingsmen. So two receivers to the left, no one to the right. Once again, feature back is Parker here with Kellen. Watson is now in the move here as Cole Bennett moves from the right to the left. Now the snap, a handoff here for Parker. Parker finds an opening, works back, and he is met by one, but he is going to still pick up a couple that time. So Jadon Parker, looks like they're going to give him about 4, maybe 5 if the officials are feeling generous. So it's going to be second down again. Ball now well inside the 45-yard line in Elkhart territory.
Hey, not a bad start for the Kingsmen. It was only 4 yards, but up against this big defensive front, 4 yards a pop is still a big win.
So now it's going to be 2nd and 7, ball at the 44-yard line. One receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Parker on the back here with Watson. Bennett on the left. Now he's a man in motion to the right. Now the snap, and there was someone moving. So we've got our first piece of laundry, and we're going to see who they chalk this against. And it's going to go against the Elkhart Lions. They get the first penalty in this game with 48 seconds gone by, and that's going to move the Kingsmen up closer to that first down marker.
Well, you can tell this Elkhart defensive front wants to put pressure on the Penn Kingsmen offensive line. They're bringing their linebackers up on the line of scrimmage, and one of them just got a little overexcited on that play.
So that makes it now 2nd and 1. Ball now at the 38-yard line as the Kingsmen so close to getting that first down here. Now the snap, now the handoff to Parker, and he's definitely got the first, or at least he thinks he does. He's still on his feet, and he's going to get more on that one as he breaks by a couple tackles and right into the Penn Kingsmen line. And so goes out of bounds, and Jadon Parker has gotten the first down here for the Kingsmen tonight. Again, all Penn Kingsmen first downs brought to you by Chris Neal State Farm Insurance with their location at 1602 East Day Road in Mishawaka. You can reach them for a quote today, 574-255-2900.
Great heads-up run by Jadon Parker there. His first option where he wanted to go with the ball wasn't there. He spun out of it, took it out wide, and gained the yardage he needed.
Over a minute gone by, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Bennett to the left of that line as Parker in the back here with Watson, and I think the Lions are going to get caught offsides again. That was Cross Jones who stepped in. That's going to be another penalty for the Lions. So that's going to make it 1st and 5 now as the Kingsmen slowly entering in the red zone territory.
This Elkhart defense is going to have to settle down a little bit. You can't give the Kingsmen free yardage like this, especially on the first drive of the game to establish the tone here.
So just a minute and 11 seconds gone by, and the Kingsmen already 1st and 5 with Ball to 26-yard line. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Now the handoff for Parker. And Watson going to keep this ball himself. He breaks by 2 tackles, trying to break by a third, still on his feet. And a pack of Lions brings him down, but not before it's another Penn Kingsman first down. And they're well inside the red zone, inside of the 15-yard line. Kellen Watson, love to see that from the senior quarterback.
Yeah, Kellen faked me out as well as he did you on that play, Tanner. It looked like he handed the ball off to Jadon Parker, and he is a slippery runner, man. He slips right in between those blocks and gains the yardage.
After the
impressive run.
17 yards on that run.
After the 17-yard pickup, now 1st and 10, ball to 13. 1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Play clock down to 12 now as Watson looks to the near side at Pete Reardon. 7 seconds left. Again, 1 to the left, 2 to the right. Watson now, he's got Parker in the back. Here for the Gold Rush. Now the handoff to Parker, trying to work his way. Spin move back to the left, and only going to get a couple that time, but still good progression as it looks like it's going to be a pickup of about 3 for Jadon Parker. And they get 2nd and 7. Ball right around the 10-yard line. Keep in mind, the Kingsmen can still get to the 1-yard line without having to get into the end zone and get a new set of downs.
This may not end up being an 18-play drive like last week, but, man, they look impressive to start this game. Their offensive line is getting a nice push up front.
Over 2 minutes gone by in a scoreless contest, but Penn is knocking at the door. 1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Bennett on the left of that line. Man in motion now is Jeremiah Mitchell. And so low snapper Watts going to keep it himself and going to try to spin his way for a couple others, but it brought down almost immediately. That was Tyreek House on the initial tackle. And so going to be a pickup of about, it looks like maybe 2 for Kellen Watson. Makes it 3rd and 5 with about 9 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, this is the point where your offensive line really has to take over. You get inside the 10-yard line, there's not a lot of room to operate down here. You can bunch the defense up really close to the line of scrimmage. Running gets tough. It'll be interesting to see if they go to the air here on 3rd down.
Dylan DeDario is warming up, and no receiver to the left, 3 to the right now. Parker to the right of Watson. Watson going to try to spin back, and he's got an opening. He's going to try to keep the ball for himself. Breaks by 1, and is going to be brought down as he's going to get a pickup of maybe 1. And so with it 4th and 3, decision time for Pete Reardon, and he's not even going to think about it. Dylan DeDario is heading out onto the field to try to hit his 2nd field goal on the year.
Hey, close games like this, games that have a lot of importance and meaning, you got to take the points when you can get them. And 3 to start off the game is better than 0.
And so clock continues to tick under 8.5 minutes left. Right now, with scoreless ball game, Oliver Broker is going to be the
24-yard attempt.
Is going to be the holder. Dylan DeDario looking for his 2nd field goal made on the season. The snap, the hold, he gets it up and knocks it through with no problem. And, of course, as a reminder that the Kingsmen Special Teams are sponsored by the Specialized Investment Team at Guidance Wealth. Build, protect, prosper on the web at guidancewealth.com. So with the Dylan DeDario 24-yard field goal hit, it's now 3-0 in favor of Penn with 8 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in this first quarter. We'll take a 60-second timeout and come back where Elkhart going to get ready for their first attempt on offense here. Tanner Camp, Matt Lilly, or Matt Kopsky back after 60 on the Regional Radio Sports Network and on 91.1 The Globe.
For 30 years, the Lilliard Insurance Agency has been a proud sponsor of local sports in Michiana. The Lilliard Insurance Agency is an independent insurance provider which offers its customers auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. They are located at 410 Lincoln Way West in Osceola. For more information, the phone number is 574-674-0015, and their website is realvalueins.com. That's REALVALUEINS.com.
Eric Gunther and State Farm Insurance are proud to underwrite a portion of tonight's game on the Regional Radio Sports Network. Eric's office is located at 356 South Michigan Street in South Bend. Under State Farm Insurance Agency, Eric offers auto and health insurance, as well as financial services. For more information on these or other products that State Farm offers, Eric can be reached at 574-291-1597. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And so Dylan DeDario ready to kick this ball off here. This one high, and this one going to take a bounce inside of the 5, and the Lions are going to elect to not take any chances and let this roll go into the end zone. And so now for the Lions, Quinn Rost, the 6-foot senior, ready to get this Lions offense started here. Keep in mind, this is a Lions offense that averages 32 points per game, 199 rushing yards, 79 through the air for 278 total yards. Keep this in mind, folks. The Lions have yet to fumble the football at any point this season. So we'll see how they fare against the Wild Bunch. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Novell Miller, the feature back here with Roth. Man in motion now. Here is Fred. Works to the left. Now the handoff here for Miller, cuts to the outside, and he is brought down with authority. Vinny Freeman showing him what it means to be here on Penn's homecoming. So Novell Miller not going to get much, and they're going to say maybe 1 yard here for Novell Miller. Check that. They're going to give him 2, so 2nd and 8 with under 8 minutes to go.
Well, you can tell the Wild Bunch out there is fired up. It's homecoming. If you can't get fired up tonight, I don't know what's going to get you fired up.
That last Penn scoring drive, 6 plays, 41 yards, took 3 minutes and 39 seconds off the clock.
Just a little bit under 8 minutes from last time. So now the handoff here for Miller, and the Wild Bunch trying to pin him down, and they're going to do just that. Based off the spots, looks like they're going to give him maybe 1 more yard, making it 3rd and 7. Ball at the 23-yard line in Elkhart territory with under 7.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, Elkhart has a nice 1-2 punch at running back with Miller and Dow. It looks like Dow was in the backfield this time. Both of them have gained good yardage every time they've had the ball this year.
So one receiver to the left, one on the right. Dow now the feature back here as Ross going to drop back. He's got an opening and hit down hard as the Wild Bunch coming up big early on, and that's John White on the initial tackle. So a 3-and-out offensive start here for the Elkhart Lions. If you're Pete Reardon, you have got to be thrilled about that start, as punting this ball away here for the Lions going to be, looks like, number 5 in Jaden Jett.
Yeah, we talked about how big this offensive line is for Elkhart, and they're having a tough time with the Penn defensive front so far. So far, Penn is owning the line of scrimmage.
Tayshawn Bardo and Colton Hernandez set to be back. Remember, Hernandez had that initial opening great drive. And so ball is snapped now. Here comes the punt, left-footed. It's a low-line drive that's going to be right around the 50. Picked up by Hernandez, breaks by 1 tackle, staying on his feet, and he's still up, and he gets from the 50 to maybe about the 46-yard line, excuse me.
That was actually Peyton Horner on that return, I think.
You're right.
And Elkhart got away with a face mask on that play.
So after Peyton Horner gets a short return, but still enough to get a couple yards, looks like the official's going to spot this football right around the Elkhart 47-yard line. Clock currently at 6 minutes and 13 seconds left. Penn leads 3-0 thanks to a Dylan D'Addario field goal, and they're looking to put a couple more points on the board as Quinn Watson and company, Kellen Watson and company now back on the field.
Yep, Quinn's on the other side of the ball. You can save that one for the next series.
30-yard punt, 3-yard return.
1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Now here for the Wild Bunch, as it looks like Cohen Weisson in the back now here. And so now they'll look to the near side for Tayshawn Bardo, and he can't complete the catch. It would have only been for about 2 or 3 yards, but the incomplete pass makes it 2nd and 10 now here with 6 minutes and 10 seconds left.
That looked almost like a slant stop type of a pattern there by Tayshawn Bardo. He was open. The ball was just a little bit behind him, but you got to bring that ball in. It was in a catchable range for him.
So it's 2nd and 10, ball at the 47-yard line. Tyler Stuck now is in the back here. Good to see him backing out on the field here for Pete Reardon's team. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Watson now getting ready for the snap from Deal. And so he's going to take his time. 8 seconds on the play clock now. Clock not moving on the game clock, and so we'll see what the Gold Rush decide to do. 3 seconds left. Got to get something off here. They do in time. Now the handoff here for Stuck, just protecting that football. Met by a couple Lions, but a good push for the Gold Rush, and that's going to be a couple of yards that time, and it looks like it's going to be a pickup. Ball was at the 47. They're going to spot him at around the 41, so a 6-yard pickup that time here for Tyler Stuck makes it 2nd and 4, excuse me, here in the game.
Flag. Going back against Penn.
And Matt Copsey is absolutely right. So
we had an illegal shift by the offense.
And so it's a penalty against the Kings, and that's their first penalty here in this game. So that pickup from Stuck going to be brought all the way back. Looks like now to the Penn 48-yard line.
Good to see Tyler Stuck back on the field. He's a senior that we haven't seen since the Mishawaka game. I know he had some injuries in the last couple of weeks. It's nice to see him back out there.
So with under 6 minutes to go, halfway through this quarter, Penn leads 3-0. No receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Now Watson ready to get the snap from Deal. Once again, Stuck to the left here in the back spot. Low snap. Watson kicks it up, goes to Bardo, makes the catch one-on-one, trying to break by 1, and he stays on his feet, and I think there's going to be a flag. It looks like there might have been a face mask against London Johnson, and so we'll see what this call is. Ball is currently spotted right around the 49-yard line in Elkhart territory, but Matt Lillard, based off where we see this at, it looks like it might be in the spot of a face mask.
Yeah, and I think it's the personal foul type of
it
face
depends
mask.
if it's a grab or a hold,
No.
if it's a 5 or a 15.
He was tackled.
That's 15.
Yep, he was tackled by his face mask on that play.
And
it's on Penn.
What?
They called it
No.
on Penn, and
No, they're going to fix it.
Pete Reardon immediately, he was, as soon as that call was made.
It was obvious.
This entire press box, and gentlemen, it has been noisy for a majority. It got silent for the first time tonight because, quite frankly, it was like, there's no chance with that. And so they fixed the mistake, and with that penalty, that's going to make it now first down for the Kingsmen.
It should be to the 34.
And it looks like they're going to, if it's the 34, Matt Copsey on the money with that one.
I rarely doubt Matt Copsey.
I would never do that either. So it's under 6 minutes to go. One receiver to the left and one to the right. 3-0 in favor of Penn. Watson ready for the snap. Stuck still in the back and some laundry on the field. And so they're going to keep the play going, but Stuck going to be hit out of bounds right near the Elkhart bench. And based off where we see this at, I think it's going to go against the Kingsmen, and it is going to be just that.
Yeah, Tyler Stuck had a little bit of a forward lean going into that play and couldn't stop his momentum moving forward before the ball was snapped. You know, that might have a little bit to do with being a little rusty, not being in the game for the last couple of weeks, but he's a senior. He'll get it together.
That's going to be an illegal shift against the Kingsmen, and so they're going to back them up after the ball was initially at the 34-yard line. It's going to be back to the 39 in Elkhart territory. 5.5 minutes remaining. Penn 3, Elkhart 0. Still first down, so 1st and 15 here for the Gold Rush. One receiver to the left, one to the right. Jadon Parker now back here in the running back spot. Kellen Watson again looking over here to his team. 3 seconds left on the play clock, and got to get the snap off in time, and they do. Now the handoff for Parker trying to work right up the middle, but brought down almost immediately as making the initial tackle. That's going to be number 33, Anthony Leonard, the 6'1", 195-pound senior. So for Jadon Parker, going to be a pickup of, looks like maybe 1 for the junior.
Yeah, this Elkhart defense seems to be kind of settling in a little bit. They're not as overzealous as they were on that first drive. They're not moving around quite as much pre-snap. And the offensive line is having some struggles right now, pushing these guys off the ball.
So it looks like Jadon Parker actually not going to be any gain, so keeps it at 2nd and 15. Ball at the 39-yard line with under 5 minutes to go. 2 to the right here for Watson, keeping his eyes up. Looking in the middle for Bardo, makes the catch, and then brought down immediately on the hit that time from number 44 here for the Lions. That's Chance McCullough. So with under 5 minutes to go, and after the pickup for Tayshawn Bardo, looks like it's going to be a pickup of about 6 that time. So making it 3rd and 9. Ball inside of the Elkhart 35-yard line, right at the 34, and the Kingsmen got to find a way to get it at least past the 25 if they want to get a new set of downs.
Now, Penn hasn't taken a deep shot yet here. I doubt this is the time to do it with 3rd and long. Just enough to get the first down is what they're looking for.
4 and some change. Penn leads 3-0. Now Watson dropping back, and he's got to be careful from dying. He throws it to Bardo, but unfortunately nowhere in his vicinity, and there's going to be a flag, and I think there might be a roughing the passer call.
And I think this one's on Marion Dye.
And that is very rare to see the future Tennessee Volunteer make mistakes, and that is a really costly one right there. So Penn will accept the penalty, and they're going to get a new set of downs. So a first down here for the Kingsmen. And, of course, as a reminder, tonight's Kingsmen First Downs brought to you by Chris Neal, State Farm Insurance, with their location at 1602 East State Road in Mishawaka. You can reach them for a quote today at 574-255-2900.
Yeah, they were going to have a first down on this play either way. You know, if Kellen Watson would have had time to throw that ball, he had Tayshawn Bardo open in the middle of that zone.
The 4 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first quarter. One receiver to the left, one to the right. Parker now cuts to the outside, and he's got some space, and he's going to be brought down by 1, and actually more like 2. Again, a pack of Lions. You go immediately at Jadon Parker. Nick Bosworth starts the initial tackle, but not after a solid pickup that time for Jadon Parker, and it looks like he's going to pick up about 6 that time, making it 2nd and 4. Ball now in the Elkhart 12-yard line, so Penn knocking at the door once again.
I really think Penn's running room in this game is going to come on the perimeter. Penn has good speed to the sideline, and they're going to make Elkhart really stretch their defense to those sidelines to make plays.
High snap, Jadon Parker trying to wiggle his way out, and wrapping him up that time once again, Chance McCullough, tied for first on the team for this Elkhart team with 32 tackles, including 4 for a loss. And so right now, ball's going to stay right where it's at. It's going to be 3rd down, and so maybe pick up. It looks like 3rd and 3 is what the situation is. Ball is at the 11-yard line. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go, so Penn's got to get inside the 10 to get a new set of downs.
Yeah, Penn should not run up the middle on this play. Get a little bit creative. Get the ball on the perimeter. Get some space to operate here.
2 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Parker in the back. Kingsman needs 3. Elkhart, and there's going to be a flag. I think Jadon Parker might have moved just a little too early.
Yep.
And that is a costly penalty here for Penn. So any chance to run, we'll see what Pete Reardon and company decides to do. But there is a penalty against the Kingsmen here with 2:53 remaining in the quarter.
We've already had 7 penalties called in this game. 4 for 40 yards on Elkhart, 3 for 15 on Penn.
The clock now continues play under 3 minutes to go. Penn 3, Elkhart 0, but Penn knocking at the door still. Ball at the 16-yard line in Elkhart territory. Watson drops back now. He's going to look for the end zone for Bardo, and it looks like they are going to get a flag as they're probably going to get pass interference against London Johnson. So there is a bunch of laundry on the field, so someone hope someone brought a basket because there are a number of flags that have come onto the field already in this first quarter.
Yeah, it's certainly not how you want to move the ball down the field, but you'll take it, right? Especially in the red zone.
So pass interference, and it does go against the Lions. Again, I believe it was London Johnson who...
It'll be half the, I think it'll be half the distance, so it's still, depending where they spot it, it's either going to be 3rd and 1. I think it's going to be 3rd and 1.
Well, right now,
first down.
On the far side, it shows the first down marker, so it's now 1st and goal, ball at the 8-yard line, so... Huge opportunity. It looks like it's going to be a timeout taken by Elkhart. So they take their first timeout here with 2:39 left in this first quarter as the Kingsmen knocking at the door with an opportunity to try to score. And that gives us a chance to thank some of our great friends, including Clover Machinery Movers.
Regional Radio Sports Network and 91.1 FM The Globe. And thank Clover Machinery Movers, 3521 North Home Street in Mishawaka, for underwriting a portion of tonight's game. Serving the industry since 1948, Clover Machinery Movers is fully equipped and insured from machinery, moving, rigging, and hauling. They can move one machine or relocate an entire plant, and they also offer their customers heated storage facilities. Their phone number is 574-255-3195, and they're on the web at clovermachinerymovers.com.
Tonight's broadcast is being underwritten by our friends at Cubit Networks. Located at 103 Polk Street in LaPorte, Cubit Networks takes pride in helping keep their customers happy for all their technology needs. More information can be found on their website at cubitnet.com, or by phone at 219-369-4357.
So 1st and goal now here for the Gold Rush with 2 minutes and 39 seconds remaining in the quarter. Tell you what, this homecoming crowd here for Penn, it is, I don't know if there's going to be an empty spot anywhere. It got pretty full once we first arrived on site here, and they are now loud and proud as they want to see their Kingsmen get the first touchdown in this game. 1 to the left, 1 to the right. The handoff to Parker works up the middle, doesn't get much, and he took a pretty hard hit. So we'll see, and he gets up with ease that time. So Jadon Parker going to pick up 2 yards on the play, making it still 2nd and goal. Ball at the 6-yard line in Elkhart territory.
Yeah, Jadon Parker has to find a way of getting a little bit lower when he gets close to contact, because taking some shots like that, I want to see him in this game for the whole game. So, down here in the goal line, I would have liked to see Penn take a shot at the end zone on 1st down. Let's see if they do on 2nd.
1 receiver to the left, 1 to the right. Jadon Parker in the back here with Kellen Watson. Snap from Deal. Now the handoff, and Watson going to actually keep this ball himself. He's going to try to get by 1. He's got an opening, and he's pushed out of bounds after a good pickup by Kellen Watson, and it looks like they're going to officially spot him. Definitely got a couple at the 3-yard line, so a pickup of 3 for Kellen Watson. Now make this 3rd and goal, and as Matt Lillard said, we will see what the Kingsmen decide to do here in a 3rd and goal situation.
Yeah, not what they wanted to have happen on that play. Only a couple of yards on that one, but boy, Jeremiah Mitchell made an excellent block on the perimeter on that run. I'm surprised Kellen didn't catch the corner on that. Good pursuit by Elkhart.
We've seen Kellen Watson turn on the jets and have to make sure that the insulators for the turf field in case there's any tire marks when he turns it on. 1 to the left, 1 to the right. Now the high snap from Watson keeps it himself, but does not have much space, and the Lions going to try to bring him down. Watson gets by 1, but just goes out of bounds, so he's going to end up actually losing yardage at the 9-yard line, so a loss of 6 that time for Kellen Watson, and unfortunately from that distance, you got to definitely go for 3, and that's exactly what we see as Dolan DeDario looking for a 2nd field goal here tonight.
That turned out to be a broken play. That should have been a handoff to Jadon Parker. The snap was high. Jadon Parker was past the point of being able to hand off the ball off to him, and Kellen Watson just kept it himself. and there wasn't blocking on the perimeter because it wasn't designed to go that way.
So it looks like a 26-yard field goal.
So 2 yards further than his 24-yard made field goal with 1:46 remaining in this first quarter. Now the snap, the hold, the ball is up, and it is no good. So Dylan DeDario misses the 26-yard field goal. And again, the Kingsman special team sponsored by the Specialized Investment Team at Guidance Wealth. Build, protect, prosper on the web at guidancewealth.com. So unfortunately for the Kingsmen, they cannot come away with points, so we remain at 3-0 as the Elkhart Lions will now start at their own 20-yard line here with $1:42 remaining in the quarter.
A couple of local scores brought to you by the Indiana Football Digest. South Bend Adams and South Bend Washington are tied at 14 in the beautiful town of South Bend. Concord is beating Goshen 35-0 in the second quarter. And one other from the area, Mishawaka and Warsaw are tied at 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that like the third quarter already? Because both those teams are going to run the ball. So
2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right now here for the Lions. Once again, Ross now looking, and he drops back for the pass, goes to the outside. Ball is caught here for the Lions and brought down immediately. The catch that time by number 3, Connor Dow. And so Dow going to pick up, it looks like about 8 on the play, as now it's 2nd and 2. Ball at the 28-yard line here with under 90 seconds to go. Connor Dow on the reception that time for the 5'9" senior.
Yeah, it's really a luxury for Coach Curry to have 2 running backs the way he does, that both can run the ball and catch the ball like Miller and Dow.
2 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Now the handoff here for Novell Miller. And the Penn Kingsmen bottle up the middle and bring him down with authority. Number 34, Wrigley Hall. And because of the forward progress, it looks like they're going to spot him. No gain at all. So the Wild Bunch holding strong and making it 3rd and 2, ball at the 28-yard line. And this very well could be the final play of this first quarter. Penn leads 3-0 here with 45 seconds to go.
Wrigley Hall's been playing some good football the last couple of weeks. He's tied for the team in tackles, and it was not the case a couple of weeks ago. He's playing some good middle linebacker when given the chance.
1 receiver to the left, 1 to the right. Man in motion now. Here is Fred. Now Ross gets the handoff here, and going to be just short. A hard hit that time. Kenny Welsh on the initial contact, and the Wild Bunch standing strong. And with 20 seconds left, we'll see what the Lions decide to do. Tackle the initial run was by Novell Miller, and he did not get much. In fact, they're going to say no gain on the play. And the Elkhart Lions are going to go at the end of the first quarter. And check that. They're going to say a gain of 1 for Novell Miller. So 4th and 1. And as we end the first quarter here, Penn leads 3-0 over the Elkhart Lions as we get ready for the second quarter of play. Let's take a 60-second timeout. We'll come back for the start of the second. Penn 3, Elkhart 0. Tanner Cam, Matt Copsey, and Matt Lilly are back after the 60-second timeout. You're tuned into Penn football here on 91.1 The Globe and the Regional Radio Sports Network.
For 30 years, the Lilliard Insurance Agency has been a proud sponsor of local sports in Michiana. The Lilliard Insurance Agency is an independent insurance provider which offers its customers auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. They are located at 410 Lincoln Way West in Osceola. For more information, the phone number is 574-674-0015, and their website is realvalueins.com. That's REALVALUEINS.com.
Did you know there's a place right here in Michiana that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Michiana gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Michiana provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
Penn 3, Elkhart 0, as the Elkhart Lions not going to take any gambles. 4th and 1, ball at the 29-yard line in their own territory. And so now the Lions ready to punt this away. It's going to be Bardo and Horner ready to get the punt this time. And so this ball is high as Bardo has trouble with the football. And ball is loose now. And the Elkhart Lions are going to recover the football on the initial recovery. I believe they're going to give credit that time to number 3 for the Lions in Connor Dow. Now there is a flag on the field.
I don't think they gave Bardo enough room to catch that ball. We'll see.
And they are having a discussion. Right now it would be Elkhart football, but we're going to wait to see what the call is. And they're actually going to say that it's against the Kingsmen, and Elkhart is going to very much decline it. And so already the first big play in this game, and Tayshawn Bardo had a little trouble handling it. And so now the Elkhart Lions going to keep the ball offensively as Quinn Ross, only 11 seconds off this clock, and they're going to start in Penn territory. It looks like they're going to spot this football. And Pete Reardon now having a discussion with the officials, and I think Matt Lillier and Matt Compton, I think like you said, I think it's a discussion about the Tayshawn Bardo reception there.
Yeah, if there was somebody with sure enough hands to catch that punt, I would have picked Tayshawn Bardo to catch it, but there was a lot of traffic on that play, and I think he took his eyes off the ball right before it got there.
So Elkhart is now going to move from left to right, and Penn going to go from right to left here in this quarter. One receiver to the left, three to the right. Novell Miller, the back now, here with Quinn Ross. And so now man in motion here is Fred. Fred going to stay on that right side of the line. Now Ross drops back, looks to his right, looking out to his left now, and he has got to be careful, and he's going to be brought down. Look at the play that time. It's number 98, Christian Bonner. He's been dominating that side of the line all year long, and he comes up with a huge hit. And it looks like after the ball started at the 31-yard line, they're going to spot him at about the 42-yard line. So it's an 11-yard loss for the Lions.
Yeah, nobody blocked Christian Bonner on that play. I don't know if it was lack of scheming to block Christian Bonner or he just beat the man to the punch, but he was all over Ross on that pass play.
3 sacks now on the year here for Christian Bonner. One receiver to the left, three to the right. Penn leads 3-0. Only a minute gone by in this quarter. So now Ross drops back, and you got to be careful. The Wild Bunch coming after him again, trying to escape. And on the big play that time, good job once again. Another sack, and it looks like giving credit that time. Number 42, Kenny Welsh. He filled in for Jonathan Searfoss a couple weeks ago, and he has been excellent in that linebacker spot.
Yeah, he makes a lot of plays. It's hard to take that young man off the field because he's all over the place. He's got good speed, he stays low, and he's a sure tackler.
So no gain that time. As tell you what, that was a big play tackle from Kenny Welch. That very well could have been a couple of yards. So makes it 3rd and long, 22 to be exact, with the ball at the Penn 43-yard line. Over a minute and a half gone by, and the Wild Bunch defense really stepping in when they need to. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ross in the back here with Novell Miller. And so it looks like there is going to be a timeout taken, and it's going to go for the Elkhart Lions. So they're now going to have only 1 timeout remaining for the last 10 minutes and 13 seconds. And while we've got this opportunity, gives us a chance to thank some great friends. Our coverage of Penn High School sports on the Regional Radio Sports Network is presented by our friends at Harrison Sons Construction. For over a decade, Harrison Sons Construction have offered full-service remodeling and construction. Projects include kitchen, bathroom, interior home remodeling. In addition, Harrison Sons Construction also offers roofing, siding, and interior and exterior painting. For more information on the services at Harrison Sons Construction, the phone number is 574-514-2104.
Regional Radio Sports Network wants to thank the Sharp family and A's Event Rentals, 805 West Edison Road in Mishawaka, for their terrific support of student athletes over the years. Serving the community for 53 years, their phone number is 574-256-1110, and they're on the web at aesrentals.com.
So once again, Elkhart moving from left to right, Penn right to left. 10 minutes and 13 seconds remaining before halftime. And the Lions are a long way to go from the first down, 3rd and 22. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Miller in the back here with Ross. Ross now going to try to keep this himself, going to throw it, and it's going to be just out of the outstretched arms of number 17 here for the Lions. That's Kenny Tymerkowski, and there was pressure coming. And so after a big miscue for the Kingsmen, the Wild Bunch comes up big, and they have to force Javon Curry's Lions to punt the football away, scheduled to punt the football, number 12 in Jordan Hart.
Yeah, Kenny Welsh made that great tackle the play before. He put the pressure on Ross on that one. He was all over that quarterback, and he had a wide-open receiver. Good thing that he got there in time.
So it's about 2 minutes gone by. Is Hart ready to punt this ball away? Bardo and Horner are back. High snap here for the Lions. Left-footed punt is going to be just short, and going to be picked up by Horner, and he's going to get by 1, but he brought down at the 10. I think he was wondering if he should have let it go or not. Based off that bounce, he might have been okay with letting it go, but instead he returns it. And so after starting inside the 5, it looks like they're going to spot this football right at the 10-yard line with 9 minutes and 57 seconds left.
Yeah, generally the rule is don't field the ball inside the 5 unless it's dying inside the 5. When that hit the ground, it kicked towards the end zone. He probably should have let that go. They'd be starting on the 25 instead.
Now the Gold Rush offense looking to put some more points on the board. They still lead 3-0. We'll see what Kellen Watson and company can do here. Right now the feature back is Jadon Parker. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Remember, Penn's moving from right to left here in the second quarter. Now the snap here for Watson, and now Parker working his way up the middle, breaking by a couple of tackles, and going to get a nice gain that time, definitely more than 5. So it's going to be second and fairly short as they're going to spot this football. Looks like still inside the 20 and right around the 17-yard line. So a pickup of about 7 for Jadon Parker.
Right tackle and right guard Brody Brown and Pat Connery opened a huge hole on that play. They moved those 2 defenders out of the way, and Jadon Parker had plenty of room to operate.
2 to the left, 1 to the right. Parker in the back here with Watson, as Parker breaks by 1, and he's not going to get much that time on the initial tackle that time. Give credit, number 94 in Carmine Orozco. There's a reason he's going to Miami, Ohio. Once he got a hold of Parker, there was not much stopping him from getting any yardage. Looks like a loss of 2 that time. So with 9 minutes to go, third down and 4 yards to go here for the Kingsmen.
Yeah, you don't think of Miami of Ohio as a football school generally, but Miami of Ohio is a football school. They've turned out some great football players that have made it to the NFL. And talk about a coaching tree, man. He's going to a good place to develop.
And, of course, former Penn Kingsman head coach Corey Oman.
Miami of Ohio.
That's correct, absolutely. 1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Watson trying to keep it himself, but not going to have many blockers. And Carmine Orozco once again on the big hit. So back-to-back tackles for loss here for Carmine Orozco, and that is going to be a loss and force the Kingsmen to punt the football away inside the 15. And looks like they'll spot this football, looks like right at the 12-yard line. So a loss of 4 for Kellen Watson. And so back to get ready to return the football here for the Lions. Going to be number 1 in Frankie Wills, with Dylan D'Addario scheduled to punt the football away.
Yeah, Dylan D'Addario's had a great season punting the ball so far. Anticipate flipping the field a little bit here, guys.
So we'll see what Dylan D'Addario does. Right foot, ball is high. This one's fairly deep. And so Willis going to break by 1, still on his feet, has an opening to the left and trying to work out of bounds. And he is met with contact.
Tyler Stuck on the tackle.
Tyler Stuck making a big hit that at least slows down the Lions. And so Elkhart going to start in a really good spot again. They're going to start inside the Penn 24-yard line with 7 minutes and 45 seconds remaining before halftime.
Yeah, Tyler Stuck, I think it's safe to say, stuck the return man on that one.
Have you had that one? Have you had that one ready to go before?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well, I
thought about not saying it. It was pretty cheesy.
So Elkhart in a prime spot to at the very least get some points. Penn still leads 3-0 with 7:45 remaining before halftime. 1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Novell Miller in the back here with Quinn Rost. So now man in motion. Here is Fred. Now the handoff for Miller, trying to work to the outside. He's got a couple blockers, and he's got an opening, and he's going to be brought down. That was a touchdown-saving tackle by Peyton Horner, and the ball was poked free, but the officials had already said that he was down. And so after the ball started at the 24-yard line, looks like they're going to spot him at the 11-yard line. So pick up a 13, and that's going to be a first down for the Elkhart Lions.
First down of the night.
Yeah, touchdown-saving tackle by Joey DePalma and Peyton Horner.
So it looks like that was actually for the Lions. It was not. Looks like that was actually number 24 in that case in Alfonso Newburn, excuse me.
Penn better hunker down here.
So 1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right with 7 and change remaining in this quarter. So now Rost looks and hands off to Miller. Miller now, he's got an opening, and he's going to be brought down almost immediately after the initial tackle that time up front. Kenny Welsh in on the action.
The Penn has to play some solid red zone defense here. So far, Elkhart's been solid in the red zone and stop Penn from scoring touchdowns. Penn's got to do the same thing on this drive.
So 4-yard pickup that time for Novell Miller. So it's going to make it 2nd and 6, ball to 7-yard line as we're approaching the halfway mark in this quarter. 3-0 in favor of Penn, but Elkhart knocking at the door. 1 receiver to the left, 1 to the right. Novell Miller, the feature back here for the Lions. And now the handoff to the outside here for the Lions, working for the end zone, and they're going to stay not in, just short. The run that time by number 3 and Connor Dow. And so let's see where they spot the football at, and it looks like it's going to be at the 1-yard line. So a 6-yard pickup for Connor Dow, and it makes it 1st and goal, ball at the 1-yard line. And Elkhart fans looking for the Lions to get their first score here in this game.
And I don't know if this is typical for Elkhart because I haven't seen them play yet this season, but they just brought in Marion Dye and Orozco on the offensive line. They're handing this ball off, guys.
And so no receivers to the right, one to the left. Almost the whole line now shifting to the left. So now we're going to get ready to see. So now the handoff, and it's in the end zone, and that's a touchdown for the Penn Kingsmen as it's number 3, Connor Dow on the 1-yard pickup. So Connor Dow this season, he has been a big part of the run game. He has just gotten his 7th rushing touchdown, and the Elkhart Lions now lead 6-3 with 6 minutes and 22 seconds left, pending the PAT here for the Lions.
So you get down on the 1-yard line like that, offensive line size matters. And Elkhart has a really big offensive line, like we mentioned in the pregame. They could have walked in on that touchdown.
Colin Krempick now going to handle the PATs. The snap, the hold, it's up, and he nails it. So it makes it 7-3 now in favor of Elkhart. 6 minutes and 22 seconds left. We'll see how the Gold Rush responds. Let's come back after this quick 60-second timeout. Penn trails 7-3 against the Elkhart Lions. Tanner Cam, Matt Lilly, or Matt Compsey back after 60 on 91.1 The Globe.
Beef O'Brady's is a locally owned, family-operated restaurant designed for food and sports, featuring appetizers, wraps, pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and wings. Beef O'Brady's also broadcasts televised sporting events. The State Road 23 Granger location has carryout service and includes a party room and outside patio. More information is available on their website, beefobradys.com, or by calling 574-271-1415. Again, that's 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's. Good food, good sports.
The 2024 Indiana Football Digest is now available for online order at indianafootballdigest.com. This year's digest is packed to the brim not only with stats and scores, but in-depth and detailed analysis on each Indiana High School Athletic Association team. It also features a section on Indiana collegiate football and quotes from coaches from all around the state, giving readers an inside look at Indiana high school football. The 2024 Indiana Football Digest is available online at indianafootballdigest.com.
7-3 in favor of Elkhart as Penn trails here at homecoming here at Freed Field. 6 minutes and 22 seconds left as we are just about ready for the kickoff here for number 16, Colin Krempick, the 5'10 senior with the foot. Is going to get this one short, and the Kingsmen will let this go out of bounds, and I believe 35. That's going to be a flag.
They'll be at the 30. They'll either make them re-kick it or they'll get it at the 35.
I'll take it at the 35.
Last scoring drive for Elkhart was 4 plays, 24 yards, took a minute and 23 seconds off the clock.
This Gold Rush offense is going to have to be a little bit more creative in how they move the ball the rest of this game. I think it's pretty clear that we're facing a really good Elkhart defense up front here. Running the ball up the middle of the field on first and second down just isn't going to cut it right now. You're going to have to take some shots on early downs and get a little bit creative.
So 6 minutes and 22 seconds left in this quarter,
and
it actually does look like they are going to re-kick it. And so it looks like now the spot for the kick, I believe it's just going to be almost exactly maybe
it's a 5-yard penalty.
5-yard penalty, so back 5 yards. So 6 minutes and 22 seconds left.
Is that a choice, Matt, to re-kick it or not? Okay.
Yes.
Well, with the return we had on the first series, it's not a bad call.
So 6:22 remaining before halftime. 7-3 in favor of Elkhart. In case you're just tuning in, keep in mind Elkhart for this quarter moving from left to right and Penn from right to left. In the back here for the Kingsmen, ready to return the football. Colton Hernandez. We also see Jadon Parker as well, and Jeremiah Mitchell. As once again, Colin Krempick has been averaging about 37.5 yards per kickoff.
I'm sure after that first kick, they didn't want to kick it to Colton Hernandez again. He had a 50-yard return to start the game.
That's probably why they tried to kick it out of bounds.
That's right.
So Jeremiah Aguilera, it's going to be a low line drive kick, and Penn, they're not taking any chances as falling right on top of the football that time. Number 88 for the Kingsmen. So falling on top of it was Carson Bates. Not a bad decision. I mean, he had space in front, but he's not wanting to take any chance. You don't blame him that time, though.
No, you don't. I mean, guys that aren't used to returning the ball, you know, it's risky.
So after 2 kickoffs.
Well, they wound up getting 2 yards out of it.
He fell forward.
So that's
2 yards.
We'll see if those 2 yards make a big difference in a game like this between Elkhart and Penn. That could make a difference maker. So Penn moving from right to left, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Parker in the back here with Kellen Watson. They trail 7-3 here in the second quarter. Now Watson dropping back, looking to his left, now to his right. Now going to tuck the football, and he's got space in front. He's got the first down and some more before being pushed out of bounds. But there is a flag on the play. And unfortunately, I think it's going to be holding against the Kingsmen based off where we see the spot of the foul. And unfortunately, that's one of those plays. You just let Watson finish out that drive. So instead of a first down, we will see we'll see what happens on this call here. But it looks like it was in the spot of holding. But we'll see what the officials officially say.
Oh, block in the back.
And so a block in the back.
That's from the spot of the foul.
So it's still a gain.
So ball is at the 37-yard line, and so they're now going to spot the
Well, it
football.
depends where the spot of the foul. It's from wherever the foul was.
So it's going to be now spotted the 45-yard line. So it'll be an 8-yard pickup for Kellen Watson. So 2nd and 2, about halfway through this quarter with 6 minutes and 22 seconds left. So still an 8-yard pickup for Watson. So 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Parker in the back now with Watson. Bennett man in motion, now to the left. Watson drops back, goes to the quick toss here to Bennett, and cannot connect to his big tight end that time. So now 3rd and 2 with 6:08 remaining here in this second quarter.
Yeah, it was the same thing on the last 2 pass plays. Kellen Watson just isn't getting the time to set up and throw. So the passes coming out of his hand are a little bit errant. That was over Cole Bennett's head that time. He didn't have a lot of room to run even if he caught it. But you got to give your quarterback a little bit more time than this.
My apologies. I said 3rd and 2. It's actually 2nd and 2 here at the 45-yard line. Pending's 2 yards in order to get a new set of downs. 2 to the left, 1 to the right, and there's a flag. And based off the Elkhart reaction, I think it's going to be a jump against the Kingsmen, and that's going to be the case. So 2 penalties on this drive have really hurt the Kingsmen. So now it's going to be 2nd and 7, ball at the 35-yard line here with 6:08 remaining in the quarter.
Boy, 2 penalties, and it's still 2nd and 7. That's amazing. How many penalties are we up to now, Matt? 10?
Let me see. That is 11. 6 on Elkhart, 5 on Penn.
Wow.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Parker in the back here with Watson. 2nd and 7, ball at the 40-yard line. Watson keeps his eyes up. Thought that he had 1. He's still got some time, but he's got to get ready to break free soon. Breaks by a couple tackles, still on his feet before taking a big hit. So Kellen Watson gets those yards that he earned. And
he
so
did take a big hit on that play.
And, yeah, he is still up and moving right now. Tell you what, it was not a big hit, or it was not exactly the smallest of hits, and he's up and walking right now. So he's going to get a fresh set of downs. So first down for the Kingsmen. Tonight's Kingsmen First Downs brought to you by Chris Neal at State Farm Insurance with their location at 1602 East Bay Road in Mishawaka. You can reach them for a quote today at 574-255-2900.
Yeah, that's the danger of having a quarterback that runs, is they're going to take some shots in the game.
2 to the left, 1 to the right. Now the handoff to Parker, and he's going to find his way. He inches his way forward on the initial hit that slowed him down here for the Lions. That was Tyreek House. And so for Parker, that's going to be a pickup of 4, making it 2nd and 6. Ball at the Elkhart 48-yard line. I checked that 47-yard line. My apologies. So 2nd and 7. Ball at the 47-yard line with a 5 and some change remaining. Penn trails over Elkhart 7-3 here in the second quarter. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Parker in the back with Watson. Watson now looks to the near side for Bardo, and ball goes right underneath. So it's an incomplete pass as that was nearly intercepted by London Johnson, which would have been his team-leading 6th interception. Instead, it's 3rd and 7 with 5:05 remaining. And Matt Lillier, the Kingsmen, they've got to find a way to get some easier looks for Bardo.
Yeah, they have to find a way to move this ball down the field through the air when they need to. And London Johnson just jumped that route. It was a stop by Tayshawn Bardo, and London read it perfectly. We're really lucky that ball's not going the other direction.
The Penn Kingsmen fans trying to help out this Gold Rush offense. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. 3rd and 7, ball at the 47-yard line. Clock stopped at 5:05. Now Watson, he's got some time. Releases the ball, going for the deep shot, looking for Bardo, and it's going to go out of bounds. And Tayshawn Bardo begging for a pass interference call, but they're going to say incomplete, makes it 4th and 7, so that forces the Kingsmen to have to punt the football away.
I'm not a big fan of referees throwing flags if you haven't figured that out already. But Tayshawn Bardo was pushed out of bounds for about the last 5 yards of that route, that certainly was interference with the receiver. I'm really surprised we didn't see a flag. And Penn is going for it on. Oh no, they're punting. Never mind. I thought they were lining up to go.
You got to try to flip the field here.
Yeah, for sure.
So Frankie Willis set to return this punt. Dylan D'Addario now with the right foot. Gets his ball underneath. Pretty good distance, and it's going to take a bounce. And this is going to take a really nice roll, and it's going to be right at the 5-yard line.
Beautiful punt. Dylan D'Addario, well done.
That's going to be about, I believe, a 50-yard punt, or at least close to it for Dylan D'Addario. So an excellent
42.
punt. So 42, so about 8 yards off, making it fourth, or with 4:48 remaining. I guess it's a chance to thank a couple of our great friends, including at the Beeler Law Office.
The Beeler Law Office is located at 3430 Bremen Highway in Mishawaka, next to the 331 Meyer store. Attorney Ray Beeler has been practicing law since 2001 and is a 1980 Penn High School graduate. She offers her clients estate planning, including power of attorneys, wills and living wills, probate administration, bankruptcy, business guardianship, and other family law services. The phone number for the Beeler Law Office in Mishawaka is 888-633-1361.
So now the handoff here for Novell Miller, working his way up the middle, and he had an opening. And fortunately for the Wild Bunch, they're at least going to push him down. And on the initial tackle that time, looks like that was number 19 in Jonathan Searfoss. So a good pickup once again for Novell Miller here with 4.5 minutes remaining before halftime. And so Novell Miller looks like they're going to spot him right around the 5-yard line, or a 5-yard pickup. No, it looks like 3 yards. So it's going to be at the 10-yard line. So 2nd and 7, ball at the 10-yard line with 4 and some change. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Miller in the back here with Ross. Ross going to keep the ball himself. Gets by one, and he's got some space in front, and he's still going out to the 30 and going to be brought down from behind. So Quinn Ross, the ball started at the 8-yard line, and they're going to spot him, looks like at the 33-yard line.
Huge run for Ross for the Elkhart Lions. Penn's got to slow these guys down and limit these big plays.
It's about a 25-yard pickup for Quinn Ross, and they immediately go to Novell Miller, still on his feet, trying to barrel his way forward, and he keeps it up, and it's going to pick up another first down here for the Lions. It started at the 33, and Miller, they're going to spot him at about the 50, and we've got a player down here for the Kingsmen. Ball currently spotted at the 50.
I think that's Hall.
And Hall is down, and he is not looking very good right now. Training staff taking a look at him, and we'll get the quick status on him. While we got the opportunity, McDonald Physical Therapy and Sports Rehabilitation Center with 2 locations at 1005 Hickory Road in South Bend and in St. Leon Hall on the campus of Notre Dame, offers physical therapy treatment, including Alter-G treadmill, blood flow restriction, and water therapy. McDonald Physical Therapy Sports Rehab phone numbers 574-233-5754, and they're on the web at mcdonaldpp.com.
Regional Radio Sports Network and 91.1 FM The Globe. Want to thank Clover Machinery Movers, 3521 North Home Street in Mishawaka, for underwriting a portion of tonight's game. Serving the industry since 1948, Clover Machinery Movers is fully equipped and insured for machinery moving, rigging, and hauling. They can move one machine or relocate an entire plant, and they also offer their customers heated storage facilities. Their phone number is 574-255-3195, and they're on the web at clovermachinerymovers.com.
So Wrigley Hall was able to walk under his own power. Looks like it might have been in that shoulder region. So 1st and 10, ball at the 44-yard line. Now the handoff to Dow on the far side, and he's going to be brought down. Ball well past the 50-yard marker. Looks like right around the 49. It's going to end up being pick up that time of 7 here for Dow.
Penn's defensive front started the game really hanging in there with this big offensive line, and right now they're getting pushed around up front. This big offensive line is wearing them down. They've got to come up with something to get this running game slowed.
3 minutes remaining in the second quarter. 7-3 in favor of Elkhart. 1 to the left, 2 to the right. Now the handoff for Miller once again, and making the big hit that time. A much-needed play. Jonathan Searfoss again, as it's going to be no gain that time. Ball going to stay right at the 50-yard line. 3rd and 4, and this is a big play here to end this second quarter, guys.
Searfoss is coming in for Wrigley Hall, making a play on his first play in the game. It's what you want to see from your senior linebacker.
So with the clock continuing to tick, 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Feature back here for the Lions is Novell Miller, as Ross here in the back. Let's see what the Wild Bunch can do. Man in motion now. And so now the handoff, and they're going to go with Dow. Looks like they're going to go with the toss into the end zone, and it's going to be caught right inside of the 20, and it's a reception for Carson Pollard. So ball was at the 50, and so looks like that they're going to spot him well inside the 20. And so a huge pickup for the Lions. Ball's now going to be at the 18-yard line, so it's going to be a 32-yard pickup here for Carson Pollard.
Yeah, I haven't seen a halfback pass in a long time, and that worked well for the Elkhart Lions.
And so once again, it was Roth who passed it back to Connor Dow and made the pass to Carson Pollard. So with under 2 minutes remaining, Elkhart does have one timeout remaining, and they are in the red zone territory. 1st and 10, ball at the 18-yard line. Now here's Nobel Miller, bumps off of his line, and going to be brought down quickly. And so we'll see how Elkhart decides to play this. Remember, they have one timeout remaining. And so it's going to be, once again, Nobel Miller after the run. And so they're going to give him a pickup of, it looks like 4. So 2nd and 6. Ball at the 14-yard line. Here with under 90 seconds to go with Penn already trailing 7-3. The Wild Bunch needs to make a stop. So now here is Ross, and he avoids a couple, but not going to bring down that one. Number 42, Kenny Welsh. A big hit that time for the Wild Bunch. That's a loss of 5 for Ross. Makes it 3rd and 11 with 70 seconds remaining in this quarter.
Yeah, these linebackers are running sideline to sideline and making plays.
So 60 seconds left. 20 seconds on the play clock, and we'll see how Elkhart decides to play for Coach Curry. So one receiver to the left and one to the right. They may be opted to, at the very least, put up 3 more points with the field goal. We'll see what Coach Curry decides to do. Now here is Ross. Ross on the handoff to Miller. He's got a block outside. But once again, Kenny Welsh with a very important tackle. That's going to bring down Miller. And so with the ball at the 19-yard line, they're now going to move him up. Looks like maybe just 2.
Looks like he got to the 17.
And that's exactly it. So pickup of 2 for Nobel Miller. And right now the game clock is less than the play clock. So my guess is Coach Curry got to think he's just going to waste as much time as possible, call a timeout, and then go for the field goal. But we'll see what the final decision is. Currently 11 seconds left. Clock continues to wind. So we'll see how Elkhart decides to play this one. 5 seconds left. 3 seconds left. Clock continues to wind, and there it is. Trevon Curry going to take his final timeout in the quarter with 3 seconds left. You got to expect the field goal unit to come out. And so with that being said, it gives us a chance to thank a couple of our other great friends, again, including an Ivy Tech. Ivy Tech programs are made to prepare students for great careers in high-paying, high-demand jobs. Find the program meant for advancing you towards your career quickly and affordably. Enrollment is open for an October 21st start. Visit ivytech.edu/apply here today. Also, once again, want to give a special shout-out, and we want to thank our friends over at Harrison Sons Construction. Regional Radio Sports Network is presented by our friends at Harrison Sons Construction. For over a decade, Harrison Sons Construction have offered full-service remodeling and construction. Projects include kitchen, bathroom, and interior home remodeling. In addition, Harrison Sons Construction also offers roofing, siding, and interior and exterior painting. For more information on the services of Harrison Sons Construction, the phone number is 574-514-2104. As set to take this field goal here, it's going to be number 16, Colin Krempek.
35 yards. And these speed guys on the outside for Penn have to get some pressure on this kicker.
Now Krempek, once again, ready to kick this one from 30-plus out. Now the snap to hold, and this one's a line drive, and I think it was deflected. And so with the clock at 0, it's going to be a deflection for the Wild Bunch special team.
Peyton Horner.
So Peyton Horner, he's been outstanding defensively all season long, and he comes away with a major stop. So the blocked field goal and that is no good here for the Lions. And so heading into the halftime locker room, it's Elkhart 7, Penn 3, as both teams are now heading into halftime. We'll be right back after this quick 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll get you ready for our Penn Sports update. But first and foremost, we've got a very special guest right after this 2-minute timeout. We'll tell you all about her right after this. Once again, Tanner Camp, Matt Lillier, and Matt Compsey, you are tuned into Penn Kingsman football here on 91.1 FM The Globe and the Regional Radio Sports Network.
For 30 years, the Lilliard Insurance Agency has been a proud sponsor of local sports in Michiana. The Lilliard Insurance Agency is an independent insurance provider which offers its customers auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. They are located at 410 Lincoln Way West in Osceola. For more information, the phone number is 574-674-0015, and their website is realvalueins.com. That's RealValueins.com.
Live from Beef O'Brady's in Granger, it's the Coach's Box every Thursday night at 6 on 91.1 The Globe, hosted by Indiana Hall of Fame broadcaster Paul Condry. The Coach's Box features in-depth interviews with high school and collegiate level athletes from all around the region. Get the inside scoop from coaches and get a good look at the behind-the-scenes world of Indiana athletics. Tune into the Coach's Box, once again live every Thursday at 6 on 91.1 The Globe.
Eric Gunther and State Farm Insurance are proud to underwrite a portion of tonight's game on the Regional Radio Sports Network. Eric's office is located at 356 South Michigan Street in South Bend. Under State Farm Insurance Agency, Eric offers auto and health insurance, as well as financial services. For more information on these or other products that State Farm offers, Eric can be reached at 574-291-1597. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Beef O'Brady's is a locally owned, family-operated restaurant designed for food and sports, featuring appetizers, wraps, pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and wings. Beef O'Brady's also broadcasts televised sporting events. The State Road 23 Granger location has carry-out service and includes a party room and outside patio. More information is available on their website, beefobradys.com, or by calling 574-271-1415. Again, that's 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's. Good food, good sports.
At halftime here at Everwise Free to Field, the Penn Kingsmen trail over the Elkhart line 7-3, but a blocked field goal attempt thanks to Peyton Horner was a big reason why the Kingsmen are still in this game. Tanner Camp once again with Matt Lilliard, Matt Compsey. We've got a very special guest. One of the great parts about this gig is getting to hang out with some great student athletes, and we got a great one with Logan Rumble, a member of the Penn Kingsmen softball team who just committed to play for Northwestern, and she's a starter on that state championship team last year, 2023, and a starter last season on that Final Four team. And how about a .456 hitting percent full on the season and a school record for doubles with 16, and also a member of the Student Athlete Leadership Council. So Logan, appreciate you. I know the homecoming festivity is always a fun and exciting time, but appreciate you taking a couple minutes to come up here and throw on the headset.
Yeah, thanks. This is awesome.
So, Logan, first and foremost, obviously you just made the commitment to Northwestern. Anytime you get to one of those high-prestigious schools, not just in terms of the softball program, but just in terms of the academics, I mean, that is a great school that you are going to get some grit to advance great in your career. Just tell us a little bit about the ultimate decision to go play for Northwestern.
Yeah, I just wanted to go to school that had great academics and also a high-level softball program, and Northwestern checked both of those boxes.
And fortunately, you're also not only going to go to a great softball program, you've been fortunate to be part of a great softball program here under some great leadership, under some great players over the last couple of years. Just tell us what that means to be a part of a program that not only is setting you up for success when it comes to your on-the-field performance, but your off-the-field. I mean, you got to be ready for once you graduate that you're going to Northwestern with a lot of good confidence.
Yeah, Coach Zach gives us a lot of good coaching. She's a great coach. All of our coaching staff is awesome, and the team in general, we have a great chemistry, and they're all great softball players who want to work hard.
What are some of the biggest things that, because this is your senior year, and I remember during my time when it was both in high school and in college, when it's that final year, you want to work your hardest because you want to make sure that you leave your mark in a positive way for the Penn softball program. So what were some of the things over the summer, and even maybe right now as it feels like we're going to fall, we're just about here in a couple of weeks, but soon we're going to blink our eyes and softball's going to be ready to play. What are some of the things that you worked on over the summer to prepare for your final season?
A lot of it's confidence. It's awesome to be confident in softball. Like, you need it, and, like, you need mental toughness. That goes hand in hand with mental toughness. I showed up to the plate. I want to show the pitcher that I think I can hit her and try and get into her head, and just confidence radiates to other people too. So just being confident, being a great teammate.
Well, good news is you got the batting average already. I mean, 456 is nothing to just joke about, and then the 16 double, that's not happening to me at any point with it. So when you take a look at, you also remember that Student Athlete Leadership Council, and that is a really important part. What I like in that is that they put the student before the athlete. We talked about that a little bit. So tell us a little bit about the Student Athlete Leadership Council and what that means to you to be a part of that program.
It's awesome. I love it. We go to middle schools and we give presentations about like Penn and sports and grades and stuff. And then we also speak at code of conduct meetings and do this fun halftime stuff like we're doing today. And it's just fun. Awesome.
And you know what? You're fortunate with the great homecoming festivities and seeing all of your fellow classmates and even some of the underclassmen come out and support this Penn football team, which, as you obviously know, a very, very high tradition, not just for the Penn School Corporation, but also in the entire state of Indiana. Just tell us what that means when you see all these students coming out here and supporting not just the football team, but realistically, the community is supporting Penn High School in general.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's crazy. Our pep rally is awesome. Earlier today, we were all hyped. Like, this is fun.
That's what it's all about. And so, Logan, finally, as we get ready for a wrap-up here, obviously being through this program, and you've seen Penn is one of the biggest and highest standards in all of Indiana athletics, regardless of sport, whether it's swimming, whether it's softball, whether it's basketball, boys or girls. It is a high standard, and I know it takes a lot of pride when you get to put on those uniforms because you're not just representing your family and your friends, you're representing the school and the area around you. So for anyone who's getting ready to get that start in softball, get that start wherever, what is the biggest piece of advice that you can give to some of these underclassmen as they get ready for their ways? I mean, as much as I know you love it, someone will be taking your spot next year, but what are some of the biggest pieces of advice that you would give to a future Penn Kingsman softball player?
To be a good teammate. If you're a good teammate, there will be a spot on the team for you. You need to be a good teammate and just be confident in yourself.
Once again, Logan Rummer, a special halftime guest here. Again, we congratulate her on her commitment to Northwestern for the star softball player. And Logan, best of luck throughout the rest of the season, both in the classroom and also for the softball field. Appreciate you taking some time to come chat with us for a bit.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll be right back after this 2-minute timeout. Penn trails against Elkhart 7-3. We'll be right back after this 2-minute timeout for the Penn Sports Update right here on 91.1 FM The Globe and the Regional Radio Sports Network.
For 30 years, the Lilliard Insurance Agency has been a proud sponsor of local sports in Michiana. The Lilliard Insurance Agency is an independent insurance provider which offers its customers auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. They are located at 410 Lincoln Way West in Osceola. For more information, the phone number is 574-674-0015, and their website is realvalueins.com. That's REALVALUEINS.com.
Did you know there's a place right here in Michiana that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Michiana gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Michiana provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
Beef O'Brady's is a locally owned, family-operated restaurant designed for food and sports, featuring appetizers, wraps, pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and wings. Beef O'Brady's also broadcasts televised sporting events. The State Road 23 Granger location has carryout service and includes a party room and outside patio. More information is available on their website, beefobradys.com, or by calling 574-271-1415. Again, that's 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's. Good food, good sports.
The 2024 Indiana Football Digest is now available for online order at indianafootballdigest.com. This year's digest is packed to the brim not only with stats and scores, but in-depth and detailed analysis on each Indiana High School Athletic Association team. It also features a section on Indiana collegiate football and quotes from coaches from all around the state, giving readers an inside look at Indiana high school football. The 2024 Indiana Football Digest is available online at indianafootballdigest.com.
Welcome me back here to halftime here at Penn's homecoming. I tell you what, it is a full field here at Everwise Freed Field as the Penn Kingsmen trail against the Elkhart Lions 7-3 here at the halftime break. And while we're here at the halftime break, once again, we also want to thank Logan Rummel for taking some time for the stellar softball player. We also wish her, again, best of luck on her commitment to Northwestern and that she enjoys her senior year and gets ready for Northwestern next year. And so now it is time for our Penn Sports Update. Once again, all the events here that we have are after from Friday of last week, from Saturday until here. Today, girls cross country Penn won the Culver Invite. Boys cross country placed fourth at the Culver Invite for the boys cross country team. For the freshmen and sophomore, they also won the Culver Invite. In girls golf, Penn's season unfortunately ended at the regional with a fourth place finish. However, Scarlett Beaver did shoot a 79 to get third place, and that has officially put her as an individual over into the state final. So she's competed today and will also compete tomorrow. In girls soccer, the Kingsmen fell to Noblesville 2-0. In JV football, Penn takes care of Wawasee 47-7. In girls soccer, an update as Penn is going to open sectional play against Michigan City as the Kingsmen, they own a state record with 17 consecutive sectional championships. And so for the Kingsmen, they'll play South Bend Adams in the South Bend Adams sectional in the week of October 7th through the 12th. Of course, more information will be available later. For boys soccer, the Kingsmen sectional, they'll open up against the Goshen Redhawks as Penn will host that sectional for next week. Again, all information will be available later. Boys rugby defeated Bishop Dwenger out of Fort Wayne 22-5. Boys rugby also defeated Westside 24-0. Girls rugby defeated North Central out of Indianapolis 24-12. And boys soccer, Penn gets a nice win over Goshen 2-1. The final with Evan Wilson scoring the game winner. How about 5 minutes left after the assist from Andrew Hochstetler? In boys tennis in the sectional to advance to the title match, Penn swept South Bend Adams 5-0. In girls soccer, Penn took care of Elkhart 2-0, which officially means they claimed the NIC championship, and it's Liv Widner with a score off the assist from Annika Gunther. Annika Gunther also scored unassisted, so Annika Gunther having her name on both goals in the 2-0 win against Elkhart. In the boys tennis sectional championship, Penn swept Marion 5-0, which means Penn has won their 23rd sectional crown in a row in boys tennis. That is unbelievable for the Kingsman boys tennis team. Of course, for boys soccer, the Penn varsity boys soccer match, and Matt Lillard and Matt Copsey, we all talked about this before, against Elkhart that was scheduled on the 2nd of October has been postponed because of the power outage, and that is now going to be played tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. JV boys soccer tied with Elkhart 1-1, and Penn JV boys soccer finishes the season at 9 wins, 3 losses, and 3 ties. In freshman football, Penn takes care of Adams 34-16 in the final. In girls volleyball, Penn swept Elkhart 3-0, 25-19, 25-17, and 25-13, which means the Kingsmen clinch at least a share of the NIC title, but they can win the NIC crown outright if they beat New Prairie in New Carlisle on Thursday, October 10th. And so once again, tonight's Penn Sports Update is thanks to the great student journalists of Penn High School, of course, led by the one and only Kurt Rallo. We appreciate all that he does to make it easy for us. We follow him online on X, formerly known as Twitter, at _Pennant or at thepennant.com. And so once again, here at halftime, and I know Matt Copsey's got our stats ready to go. Matt Copsey, what you got for a 7-3 game, low scoring, but still a number of stats, and I think the one that Matt Lillard and I are curious are going to be those penalties.
All right. Thanks, Tanner. Penn got on the board at the 8:08 mark of the opening quarter, a 24-yard field goal by Dylan DeDario, and it would remain that way until the 6:22 mark when Connor Dow went in from 1 yard out. Colin Krepnick's extra point made it 7-3. That's where we stand at halftime. 5 first downs for Elkhart, 6 for Penn. Elkhart had 3 punts for an average of 33 yards. Penn, 2 punts for an average of 38 yards. 6 penalties for 53 yards for Elkhart, 5 penalties for 35 yards for Penn. Elkhart was 1 of 5 on third down conversions. Penn was 0 of 4. Taking a look at some individual numbers, Quinn Ross was 1 of 2 for 8 yards, and Connor Dow was 1 of 1 for 32 yards. Connor Dow also had 1 catch for 8 yards, and the other reception came from Carson Pollard for 32 yards. Running the football, Novell Miller, 11 carries for 18 yards. Quinn Ross had 3 carries for 11 yards. And get it over here. Got to get the name here real quick. Alfonso Newbern had 1 carry for 13 yards, and Connor Dow 3 carries for 14 yards. So Connor Dow did a little bit of everything there in that opening half. For Elkhart, their total yards, they had 56 yards on the ground, 40 through the air, for a total of 96 total yards for Penn. Kellen Watson was 2 of 5 for just 9 yards, both catches by Kayshawn Bardo for 9 yards. Running the football, Jadon Parker was 10 carries for 33 yards, and Quinn Watson 8 carries for 46 yards. So Penn had 79 yards on the ground, 9 yards through the air, total of 88 total yards. So each team with less than 100 yards, is defense has kind of been the story here in the opening half. Just 1 turnover that belonged to Penn.
And so it's now time for a look at a scoreboard update from Scoreboard Central, which is thanks to the Indiana 2024 Indiana Football Digest. Of course, more information available at indianafootballdigest.com. New Haven up on Belmont 21-3 at the half. Northwood and Plymouth are tied at 7 apiece in the third quarter. Leo up on Huntington North 20-7 in the third quarter. DeKalb all over Norwell at halftime 33-7. East Noble, Matt Compsey, I think this one's going to shock you as it does with me. East Noble up 35-0 in the third quarter against Columbia City, so that is now running clock. And so Evansville Memorial up on Evansville Wright 14-7 in the second quarter. Another big surpriser is Lawrence North up 20-7 against Warren Central at halftime. A couple other scores from around the area. Tippecanoe Valley up on Western 17-14 in the second quarter. Adams and Washington tied at 14 in the second quarter. Knox up on Jamestown 6-0 in the first quarter. And Northridge up on Wawasee 22-0 at the end of the second quarter. Well, we'll go ahead and thank a couple more of our great sponsors. But Matt Copsey, I know you had a point that you wanted to make sure in terms of from the scores.
I heard it was Mishawaka was ahead 10-7 at the half on Warsaw.
Another big one in the Northern Lakes Conference, and that gives us a chance again to thank some more of our great friends that make it possible for us to get the broadcast from here tonight. That includes over at Cuban Networks.
The Regional Radio Sports Network thanks Cuban Networks for their support of high school and college athletics. Since 1986, Cuban Networks is focused on providing a quality experience for their customers. They take computer security seriously and have the necessary tools to keep your digital assets and environment safe. They are located at 103 Polk Street in LaPorte, and their phone number is 219-369-4357.
Regional Radio Sports Network wants to thank the Sharp family at A's Event Rentals, 805 West Edison Road in Mishawaka for their terrific support of student athletes over the years. Serving the community for 53 years, their phone number is 574-256-110, and they're on the web at aisrental.com. And their website is aisrental.com.
And as we want to remind you that all Kingsman First Downs tonight are brought to you by Chris Neal State Farm Insurance, their location at 1602 East A Road in Mishawaka. You can reach them for a quote today at 574-255-2900. And we also, once again, as we want to thank another one of our great friends, including at the Beeler Law Office.
The Beeler Law Office is located at 3430 Bremen Highway in Mishawaka, next to the 331 Meyer store. Attorney Ray Beeler has been practicing law since 2001 and is a 1980 Penn High School graduate. She offers her clients estate planning, including power of attorneys, wills and living wills, probate administration, bankruptcy, business guardianship, and other family law services. The phone number for the Beeler Law Office in Mishawaka is 888-633-1361.
Regional Radio Sports Network and 91.1 FM The Globe want to thank Clover Machinery Movers, 3521 North Home Street in Mishawaka for underwriting a portion of tonight's game. Serving the industry since 1948, Clover Machinery Movers is fully equipped and insured for machinery moving, rigging, and hauling. They can move one machine or relocate an entire plant, and they also offer their customers heated storage facilities. Their phone number is 574-255-3195, and they're on the web at clovermachinerymovers.com.
Let's go ahead and take a 60-second timeout. When we come back, we'll re-look at the lineups as we're just about to get ready to get this game underway again. 7-3 in favor of Elkhart after our first half of play. Tanner Camp, Matt Copsey, and Matt Lillier will be right back after the 60-second timeout. You're tuned in to Penn Kingsman Football here on 91.1 FM The Globe and the Regional Radio Sports Network.
Eric Gunther and State Farm Insurance are proud to underwrite a portion of tonight's game on the Regional Radio Sports Network. Eric's office is located at 356 South Michigan Street in South Bend. Under State Farm Insurance Agency, Eric offers auto and health insurance, as well as financial services. For more information on these or other products that State Farm offers, Eric can be reached at 574-291-1597. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Did you know there's a place right here in Michiana that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Michiana gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Michiana provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
7-3 in favor of Elkhart, but Penn building a little momentum after that Peyton Horner blocked field goal attempt makes it 7-3 here in favor of the Lions. And now it's time to take a look at our Zolman Tire starting lineups. And so as a reminder here for our starting lineups, thanks to our friends over at Zolman Tire. In 1963, Bud Zolman began working in the tire and automotive service industry. After many years of hard work and dedication, he and his wife Diane founded Zolman's Tire in 1978, over 45 years ago, under the leadership of their son Nate Zolman. Zolman's Best One Tire and Auto now has 8 retail locations and 3 fleet locations, serving you and your family for 3 generations. Zolman's Best One Tire and Auto care. As we take a look again at the starting lineup for both sides. First and foremost, we'll start with the Elkhart offense, since they will get the football to start after the kick. And so this Elkhart quarterback. Again, Quinn Ross at the control for the quarterback spot. His line up front includes from left to right Kyle Summer, Nate Franklin, Keaton Thompson, Cordero McPhee, and Ethan Mann. Those are the Hogs up front for the Elkhart Lions. Meanwhile, the other receivers to keep an eye on, Ty Rakowski, also Carson Pollard, who's had that big reception that has really shifted the tide here for the Lions. Keelan Fred and Connor Dow. Tell you what, he has been, if there was a player of the half, he is probably in nomination just for the half, and definitely going to be in conversation for our player of the game later on. Novell Miller, the feature running back. So that is the Elkhart Lions offense that is scheduled to start in the second half of play. Meanwhile, the Wild Bunch defense goes like this. A line up front from left to right defensively. Christian Bonner, J.T. Seeger, John White, and Quinn Watson. The line up front here for the Wild Bunch. In the middle, Kenny Welsh, Wilson Thomas, and Wrigley Hall. In the secondary is Colton Hernandez, Vinny Freeman, Joey DePalma, and Peyton Horner. Meanwhile, as we flip the card and now look at the Gold Rush offense here for the Kingsmen, the line up front is the same. Gavin McGee, A.J. Needham, Aiden Deal, Pat Connery, and Brody Brown. Meanwhile, the other receivers here for the Kingsmen include Tayshawn Carter, who's had a very quiet night tonight, Cohen Turner, Jeremiah Mitchell, and the tight end is number 8, Cole Bennett. Jadon Parker is the feature back, and Kellen Watson at the controls for the quarterback spot. And now for the Elkhart defense, the lineup front, which has been giving the Gold Rush a lot of problems here tonight. Marion Dye, Caden Donovan, and Carmine Orozco. Meanwhile, in the middle, Chance McCullough, Cross Jones, Tyreek House, Nick Bosworth, and Anthony Leonard in the middle here for the Lions. And finally, wrapping out in the secondary here for Elkhart, Zach Anderson, Chase Buzzard, and London Johnson. Of course, the one thing that we will keep an eye on defensively for the Kingsmen, number 34, Wrigley Hall. Mind you, he did have that injury that essentially put him out for the remainder of that second quarter, so we certainly hope that the 5'11 junior is going to be able to play here tonight. As the two teams now on the field, they're warming up and just about to get ready to get this game back underway. As a reminder, as we look at our Flags International weather report, and so as we take a look at it, tonight's Game Time Weather Report is presented by Flags International. Flags International offers Penn, Kingsmen flags alongside different kinds of American and international flags, sports flags, and flagpole installations through their website at flagsinternational.com and at their retail location at 10845 McKinley Highway in Osceola. The phone number for Flags International is toll-free, 800-627-3524. We started this game out at 71 degrees with wind coming from that north to northwest at about 9 miles an hour, but it has cooled down into right around 67 degrees, and it's only going to get cooler throughout the night. But, gentlemen, as we bring you guys back in again, Elkhart in the white shirts with the white pants, the blue helmets with the blue face mask. It's got Elkhart up top, and the number is in blue as well with that goal that they have right along the numbers as well. Meanwhile, for the Penn Kingsmen, it's the black uniforms, black short, and black pants with Kingsmen up top and the number below with Kingsmen in that Vegas gold with the white numbering. Of course, those iconic Penn gold Vegas gold helmet with Penn right across. And, gentlemen, it's really going to come down to for Penn. If they can string together some offense, and I think, Matt Lillard, you said it, you might as well in a couple opportunities take some chances. Still a close game, but it is going to be a tight battle as it'll be Penn kicking to Elkhart to start off the second half.
Yeah, there's two things Penn really has to do in this half. Number one is they got to cut down on the penalties. They got to stop giving Elkhart yardage and stop giving Elkhart yardage back when they gain yards. The other thing they need to do is get a little more creative on offense. You're not going to be able to beat this team by running the ball up the middle on first and second down and then only throwing on third down. They're going to have to get aggressive on the early downs and take some shots. And I have to imagine that that's part of the game plan for Coach Pete. They're great at halftime adjustments. This is going to be a different-looking second half, if I had to guess.
So Frankie Lewis and Alfonso Newbern are the two featured backs to return this kickoff here. And as Dylan D'Addario with the long sleeve on as the night gets cooler. Once again, Penn now going from left to right and Elkhart from right to left. Winner of this is going to take sole possession of first place in the Northern Indiana Conference. And so we're underway for the second half. A line drive kick for Dylan D'Addario. So a good way to get things started on the special team side. But now here comes Quinn Ross and company as the ball will start at the Elkhart 20-yard line. Again, 12 minutes on this clock. And we're going to see what happens as Elkhart leads over Penn 7-3.
Yeah, Coach Pete has to be pretty pleased with how his defense played in the first half. They played bend but don't break defense. They only gave up 7 points to Elkhart offense that averages somewhere around 35 points a game.
32 is the exact number, but the reality is this. Normally, only holding a team like this to 7 points wins you a lot of games. So
that's right.
Don't want the defense to change at any point. So now here come the Lions. 2 receivers to the left. They got 3 to the right. Right now, Ross is all by himself in the back. And so now man in motion here for the Lions. Now the handoff, and now Ross going to keep it himself, and he's going nowhere. And that is the duo of Christian Bonner and Kenny Welsh introducing Quinn Ross, reminding where they're playing at. So a nice play that time. A loss of, looks like 1 here for Ross. Makes it 2nd and 11, ball at the 19-yard line.
Elkhart had a great play fake on that one. They had a slot receiver coming across.
I thought he was going to hand it off to him, but Ross decided to keep it instead. I think
right.
That would have been better off to hand it to him because they were fouled. They were watching Ross.
Yeah, Christian Bonner didn't bite on that
Empty backfield again, and so now the toss and a great form of tackling after the initial reception. That was number 24 in Alfonso Newbern. And on that tackle that time, Kenny Welsh, he's been great in that linebacker spot. And so only a gain of 1 makes it 3rd and 10, almost a minute already gone by. And we'll see what Elkhart decides to do here offensively.
Yeah, this linebacking core for Penn has been playing a strong game so far. Their defensive linemen are kind of getting gobbled up by this offensive line, but that frees up linebackers to make plays.
2 receivers to the left, 3 to the right. Once again, for the 3rd straight play, Ross is by himself in the backfield, so we'll see what the Lions do. Now man in motion, and now there's going to be a timeout taken. It's Pete Reardon. It's their first timeout taken in this game. Pete Reardon wants to have a talk with his team, and so with that timeout, here at the 10:49 mark, gives us a chance to thank a couple more of our great friends, and that includes over at Cuba Networks.
Tonight's broadcast is being underwritten by our friends at Cubit Networks. Located at 103 Polk Street in LaPorte, Cubit Networks takes pride in helping keep their customers happy for all their technology needs. More information can be found on their website at cubitnet.com. That's QUBITNET.com, or by phone at 219-369-4357.
So 10:49 remaining in the third quarter. Penn trails 7-3, but they're off to a good start defensively. As right now for the Lions, it's 3rd and 10, ball at the 20-yard line. And Pete Reardon had to take his first timeout for the Kingsmen.
Yeah, Coach Pete's a defensive-minded coach. He had to have seen something out there that he didn't like to take a timeout this early in the second half.
And ironically enough, of course, when he was with Corey Yeoman, he was a defensive coordinator, so that is his specialty, as Matt Lilliard said. So now here come the Lions, 2 receivers to the left, 3 to the right. Once again, Ross is now by himself in the backfield. Now man in motion is Miller, and now Ross looking back. He's well protected. Looks and hit heavily by Kenny Welsh, painting a little bit of gold on that white uniform after the initial catch, and that is going to force a 3-and-out. The Wild Bunch comes away with a huge stop defensively.
I don't know about you guys, but right now Kenny Welsh is tracking for the MVP of this game for the Kingsmen so far. He's got to have at least 5 or 6 tackles already, and several of them are from loss.
Yeah, that was not much gain, only a gain of 2, as it looks like on the initial reception, again, was Newbern. And so now here comes the snap. Now the punt here for Hart. Ball is high, ball is deep, and so it's going to take a bounce right around the 48-yard line in Penn territory. So the Gold Rush, they're going to get ready to start in a pretty good spot here, and the defense has done their part, but it's going to be up to the Gold Rush now to put some points on the board.
Yeah, we're about to see the adjustments this offense has made at halftime. My guess is they're going to take some shots on early downs and come back to the run only when they need to.
26-yard punt, no return.
Kellen Watson and company, again, ready to try to put some more points. They did put 3, thanks to a 24-yard Dylan D'Addario field goal, but looking for 6 to try to take the lead here as they trail 7-3 against the Elkhart Lions. No receivers to the left, 3 to the right. Now Parker in the back. Now the handoff, and he is eaten up, making the big tackle that time. It's number 37, Caden Donovan, the 5'11 senior. And so he makes the big hit. That is actually going to be a loss of 1 here for Jadon Parker. So with under 10 minutes to go, 2nd and 11, ball at the Penn 49.
Well, I was wrong about going to the air on first down.
Well, we'll see on second down. Right now, receivers heavy on the right. 3 receivers on the right, no one on the left, with Parker still in the back. And so now the handoff for Parker, trying to work to the outside, and not much happening there. In fact, almost going to lose some yards, and we'll see where they spot him at. Looks like it's going to end up being maybe a loss of 1 yard for Jadon Parker.
We're back at their own 48.
Back at the 48, so it makes it 2nd and 12 with over 9 minutes left. Third, excuse me. That's why we have Matt Copsey here. 3rd and 12 with a little over 9 minutes remaining in this third quarter. So you got to be anticipating a throw here for the Gold Rush.
One of the things Coach Pete told us at the beginning of this season is, can this team do what they need to do when they need to do it? And we're going to find out right here.
No receivers to the left, 3 to the right. Parker back on the right hip here for Watson. And now Watson just gets it to Parker, and he's got space in front if he can find an opening. And he gets by one, but then brought down almost immediately by London Johnson. So not a bad pickup, but unfortunately not going to be enough, as it is going to make it 4th down, and it looks like
they got back to the original line of scrimmage.
And so Coach Reardon, even though they are in Elkhart territory, not going to take any chances.
Actually, they're to the 46, so they got
about 6 yards on that pickup there. So 4th and 6 as Dylan D'Addario set to punt this football away here to Frankie Willis. So we'll see what the Kingsmen do there in Elkhart territory right now. And D'Addario going to need to get a good punt here. The snap, the hold on this ball, skies high. This is a solid punt for D'Addario. Frankie Willis now work to the outside, and an excellent tackle that time. Number 23, I believe that was. We'll take a
Joey DePalma.
No, it's Joey DePalma. You're right.
Beautiful tackle.
So Joey DePalma making the huge special teams tackle, and that's going to force the Lions to start at their own 12-yard line here with 8 minutes and 5 seconds left. Lions lead 7-3. We'll see if the defense can pick up where they left off.
I think that's Joey DePalma's second tackle on a punt, and both of them were real similar. He is not letting that guy by him.
34-yard punt, no return.
So now Quinn Ross ready to see if he can keep the chains moving here for the Lions, as they already lead 7-3 with 8:05 remaining. 1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Miller, the feature back here as man in motion now. Now the handoff for Miller, trying to work back to the right, and not going to get a whole lot, but just enough that time, as it looks like it's going to be a pickup of about 3 here for Novell Miller. So under 8 minutes to go, makes it 2nd and 7. Ball now at the 25-yard. Check that. It's going to be a gain of 5. Excuse me.
And they're operating fast on offense. They're back to the line and ready to go already.
So 1 to the left, 2 to the right after the 5-yard pickup for Novell Miller. 20 seconds on the play clock now. Ross looking out over on the Elkhart sideline. Miller in the back here with Ross. Now Ross immediately looks out to the far side, and it's going to be caught over near the far side.
It's really close to a first down.
As making the initial grab was Frankie Willis. And so it looks like they're going to say that he is just short. It's currently showing. No, they're going to move the sticks. It showed 3rd down, but they'll move the sticks. So ball was at the 22-yard line. And so Willis on the reception that time. It's to pick up about 5 or 6 to get the first down here for the Lions. With under 7 minutes to go, Elkhart leads 7-3. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Miller in the back with Ross. Man in motion now. Here is Dow. Dow in motion. Now the handoff. And so Miller now going to keep the football himself and stumble his way to the first down marker. And we're going to see if they move the chains, as it looks like they're going to say Miller is short about a yard, maybe 2. So Miller on the 9-yard pickup makes it 2nd and 1 with 6.5 to go.
Ooh. Movement on the front line for Elkhart.
And so if Laundry is thrown on the field, it's our first flag in the second half. And with the movement up front, that's going to be a penalty against the Lions. So they're going to bring that football back 5 yards, making it 2nd and 6. Ball now is at the 26-yard line.
Novell Miller experiencing a little more success against this Penn defense than he did last year, although you would have seen him in a little bit of different colors last year.
So 2 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Novell Miller in the back here with Ross. Ross now in the left here for Ross. Now here is, and now Miller, and he is eaten up alive, making the initial tackle that time. Looks like that was number 98, Christian Bonner. He's been great on the line up front all year long. And it's going to end up being
no gain, I think.
No gain from what it looks like right now. So make the 3rd and 6, under 6 minutes to go. Ball still at the Elkhart 23. Penn looking to make another stop defensively.
This Penn defensive backfield has to step up right here and get this ball back.
Huge 3rd down play for Penn. They need to get the ball back.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Miller on the right hip of Ross. And so now the snap, now the toss to the near side, and it's an incomplete pass. No flags on the field, so a huge stop for the Wild Bunch. and Trevon Curry going to have to punt the football away. So back-to-back times that the Wild Bunch have come up with a big stop. Again, when you've held this Elkhart team who's been averaging right around 32 points per game to 7 points, that at least is going to keep you in a lot of ball games.
Yeah, Ross was hurried on that pass and not by the defense. I'm not sure why he let go of it so quick. He had a receiver open on an out pattern at the sticks and just missed him.
Now Jordan Hart now here ready to punt the football away. And so takes a snap at this one. Left foot high. This one fairly deep. And it's going to be bouncing out of bounds. Looks like right around the Penn 40, maybe 39-yard line. We'll see where they get the spot at. And so the Gold Rush looking for points, still looking for a touchdown. They have had a touchdown in every single game this year and looking for that here tonight. The ball will start now at the Penn 40-yard line. And while we've got the opportunity, remember that tonight's Kingsman First Downs are brought to you by Chris Neal State Farm Insurance at their location at 1602 East Day Road in Mishawaka. You can reach them for a quote today at 574-255-2900.
34-yard punt, no return.
Copsey told me before this game started it was going to be a low-scoring defensive battle, and I doubted him again, and here I am, wrong again.
Two receivers to the left, one to the right, man in motion. Now Parker on the handoff, trying to bounce to the outside, but brought down. Ball's now loose and still a live ball.
Oh, he's
I
down.
think he's ruled down.
And they are going to say that
because the ground cannot cause a fumble.
And so they are going to say that Jadon Parker was down. And on the initial hit, that's 44 chance to call
They're
up.
actually giving the yard for forward progress.
So instead of what thought was a fumble at first, ends up being a 1-yard gain for Jadon Parker. 2nd and 9, ball at the Penn 41-yard line with under 5 minutes remaining in the third. Elkhart leads 7-3 against the Kingsmen.
It wouldn't be a bad idea to switch up your running backs. Maybe bring in Colin Weissong or Tyler Stuck, because it seems like they've got Parker's number right now.
And so a huge hit as they do switch running backs, as it looks like this time they did go to number 28 in Tyler Stuck, and he is not going to get much. In fact, looks like they're going to say he got nothing at all. So Tyler Stuck on the no-yard rush that time makes it 3rd and 9. Clock continues to roll with a little over 4 minutes remaining. Penn trails, and so we'll see what Pete Reardon's offense can do here. They got to get to at least the 50-yard line if they want to move the chains.
Yeah, the front of this Elkhart, especially in the middle of their defense, just isn't giving ground right now.
Penn is not converted on 3rd down tonight, 0 for 6.
High snap now. Watson rolling out to his right, looking deep, trying to find Bardo, and he's going to make the reception. Now the question is he got enough for the first down?
They're
He
marking
needed
him
to get to midfield. I think he's going to be about a yard short.
And that's exactly what they're going to say.
I'm going for it here if I'm Coach Reardon.
So it's under 4 minutes to go, and as Matt Lillier said, it's a decision time. And it looks like, based off what you said, Matt Lillier, don't know if our headsets are connected to theirs, but it looks like the Gold Rush, and they're staying on the field, and the Penn Kingsmen, they're going to go for it on 4th down. Here at their own 49-yard line, they need 1 yard in order to keep this drive alive. And looks like there's going to be a timeout taken. It looks like Elkhart took the timeout. And so we'll take a quick timeout as well. We'll be back after this quick 60-second timeout here. Penn trails 7-3, back after 60 on 91.1 The Globe.
Did you know there's a place right here in Michiana that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Michiana gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Michiana provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
Beef O'Brady's is a locally owned, family-operated restaurant designed for food and sports, featuring appetizers, wraps, pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and wings. Beef O'Brady's also broadcasts televised sporting events. The State Road 23 Granger location has carryout service and includes a party room and outside patio. More information is available on their website, beefobradys.com, or by calling 574-271-1415. Again, that's 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's. Good food, good sports.
And so with the Penn Kingsmen down 4, they're going to go for it on 4th and 1. They got to get 1 yard in order to keep the drive alive. And so now the run, and the Penn Kingsmen get a first down. Their first 4th down conversion tonight, and it's thanks they get it to order reliable. Their number 28 in Tyler Stuck, the biggest 4th down conversion for the Kingsmen tonight.
Coach Pete sent in his heavy package on that one. They had 3 tight ends, 1 wide receiver, and they ran right over those guys.
So after the 3-yard pickup for Tyler Stuck, and that is a game-changing moment right there as it keeps this drive alive for the Kingsmen and forces another Penn first down. One receiver to the left, one to the right. 3.5 minutes to go. Penn still trails 7-3, but a huge fourth down conversion. Now Tyler Stuck protecting the football and not going to get much as it's probably going to be a gain of 1 here for Tyler Stuck, making it 2nd and 9. Ball at the Elkhart 47 with 3 and change remaining in the third.
Well, if the goal is to soften up the middle of this defense, they're giving it their best shot. The last first down, second down, and now the first down here runs right up the middle.
So Tyler Stuck remaining out onto the field.
I guess this is where you got to see Watson maybe with a keeper here maybe.
So we'll see what the Kingsmen decide to do. No receivers to the left, 3 to the right, including Cole Bennett and also Tayshawn Bardo. And right now Tyler Stuck on that left hip of Watson. Watson going with a quick toss to Cole Bennett. Has to stretch out his arms in order to get to that one. And I don't know if Bennett's going to get a whole lot, if any. And then based off where we see the initial spot, it looks like it's going to be 3rd and 9. So no pickup on the reception from Cole Bennett. 3rd and 9. Ball still at the Elkhart 47.
Elkhart's defensive backfield is doing a great job defending the boundaries so far. Penn needs to think about going to the air over the middle of the field once.
And so Elkhart fans on the far side, they're getting loud, they're getting proud. Penn trying to respond. This place is about as loud as we've heard all season long, maybe outside of the Valpo game early on. And that's what you get when you got homecoming. Penn student section up and on their feet as well.
Penn might have to take a timeout here.
And unfortunately, they're going to have to. And so Pete Reardon will now have for the remaining half, 1 timeout remaining. Elkhart will have 2. As again, that's going to give us a chance to thank a couple of our sponsors. That includes over at McDonald Physical Therapy. As again, McDonald Physical Therapy and Sports Rehabilitation Center with 2 locations at 1005 Hickory Road in South Bend and in St. Liam Home. The campus of Notre Dame offers physical therapy treatments including Alter-G treadmill, blood flow restriction, and water therapy. McDonald Physical Therapy and Sports Rehab Center's phone number is 574-233-5754. And they're on the web at McDonaldPT.com. So again, 3rd and 9, ball at the Elkhart 27-yard line with 2 minutes and 7 seconds left after the timeout taken by Pete Reardon. So keep in mind, Penn is moving from left to right here in this quarter, and Elkhart moving from right to left. And so that means now Pete Reardon, for the remaining half, has 1 timeout remaining. And for the Elkhart Lions, they will have 2 remaining. And this drive, a real big turning point in this game as the Penn Kingsmen converted on a 4th down conversion at the midfield stripe. We'll see what Pete Reardon and company has up their sleeves. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Stuck still in the back here with Watson. Watson taking a couple steps back, looking towards the middle. That ball is deflected up top. And taking the swat at that one, it's number 77, Cordero McPhee, who deflects the football. And with it 4th and 9, ball at the 47-yard line. And it looks like Coach Reardon is going to punt the football away. Dylan D'Addario scheduled to punt back with Frankie Willis on the punt return here.
Yeah, Kellen really needed to go to a second option on that play. He's just not getting the time to go past his first progression. He had Cole Bennett running down the seam in the middle of the field.
So clock is stopped at 2 minutes and 3 seconds. And so we'll see what Dylan D'Addario can do on the punt here. Once again, Frankie Willis scheduled to return here for the Lions. Ball right now currently at the Elkhart 47-yard line. High snap. D'Addario able to keep it alive. Right-footed punt. Takes a bounce right at the 20-yard line and going to get a friendly roll inside of the 15. And it looks like it'll be picked up right around the Elkhart 13-yard line. So another big drive here for the Elkhart Lions. They start on their own 13-yard line with under 2 minutes remaining in this third quarter. We'll see if the Wild Bunch can continue their impressive second half.
Yeah, Dylan D'Addario has definitely improved since last year. You can tell that he's put in some serious work in the offseason. And on that one, he was unflappable. He had Marion Dye bearing down on him to block that kick. And he didn't rush it, and he got it off.
So an important drive here for both respective sides.
Another 34-yard punt.
Yeah, and as a punter, you don't want someone like Marion Dye coming at you. Good night.
And so with Ross still at the quarterback spot, Nobel Miller, the feature back. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. As mentioned, now man in motion here is Dow. And so now the handoff here for the Lions, as it looks like it's going to be Nobel Miller on the run.
Got a yard.
So on the carry that time here for Miller makes it 2nd and 1. Check that, 2nd and 9. 1 yard is what he picked up.
Quinn Watson did a really nice job slowing that play down, going to the outside, and the rest of the Wild Bunch defense caught up and made the play. Great pursuit.
One receiver to the left, two to the right. Novell Miller still in the back here with Quinn Ross. Man in motion now is Dow, as Ross going to keep this ball for himself, and he is going nowhere. The Wild Bunch, they wanted to push him into the end zone.
Thomas Wilson, great play at middle linebacker. Stood his ground, waited for that quarterback to clear the play action, and made the tackle.
And so a huge play for Wilson Thomas that time, and with under a minute left to go, again, makes it 3rd and 8 at the Elkhart 15-yard line. This could be the final play in this drive, as it's almost the end of this quarter. So it looks like communication between the receivers. 7 seconds left on the play clock. Elkhart's got to go. 3 seconds left, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Now the handoff as Ross keeps it himself, and he's got some space in the middle, throws it up, and it is caught on the outside by Keelan Fred.
I think he's short.
And so we're going to find out where Keelan Fred was at. And they're going to say the ball was at the 15-yard line. And it looks like it's going to be a gain of about 7, makes it 3rd and 8. And because he was out of bounds, it's going to make it 4th down.
About 2, maybe?
At the 20, they need to get to the 23 for a first down.
Right now, ball's at the 21, and right now it's going to be 4th and 2.
It would be reckless for Elkhart to go for it here.
Not in this spot, and so officials timeout. That gives us a quick chance to thank a couple of our friends. That includes over at the Beeler Law Office.
The Beeler Law Office is located at 3430 Bremen Highway in Mishawaka, next to the 331 Meyer store. Attorney Ray Beeler has been practicing law since 2001 and is a 1980 Penn High School graduate. She offers her clients estate planning, including power of attorneys, wills and living wills, probate administration, bankruptcy, business guardianship, and other family law services. The phone number for the Beeler Law Office in Mishawaka is 888-633-1361.
So it was an official's timeout is what it says. So Elkhart still has 2 timeouts remaining, with Penn having 1. And with 27.2 seconds left, as you mentioned, Coach Curry not going to take any chances, and so they're going to have Jordan Hart on the punt here. So the Wild Bunch defense has been outstanding in this 3rd quarter, as it's going to be Tayshawn Bardo as well as Peyton Horner scheduled to return the punt.
Penn needs a big special teams play here. They need to get some momentum going on offense, and this could do it.
So left-footed punt going to be just past the 50-yard line, as Horner just catches the football and is going to be out of bounds right around the Penn 48, maybe 47-yard line. And we'll see what ends up happening. And it actually looks like, I think they just got a penalty against Elkhart.
False start.
And it's going to be a false start against the Lions. And so it looks like Penn will decline that.
Yeah, they want the football.
And yes, they do want the football indeed. So the clock is now stopped at 15.1 seconds left. Keep in mind, the Wild Bunch only has, check that, the Gold Rush has 1 timeout remaining.
Oh, it's the Wild Bunch, too.
And the Wild Bunch. We're going to the office.
It's just Penn. Penn has 1 timeout.
The black and gold, they have 1 timeout remaining. And this drive, again, with Elkhart leading 7-3 here with 15 seconds remaining. 1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Right now, it looks like it is Jadon Parker back with Kellen Watson. This could be the final play in this quarter. Now the handoff to Parker right up the middle and brought down aggressively that time.
Well, Penn got a nice push up front on that play. Jadon Parker had a nice seam to run through there and gained 7.
And that is going to be the end of the 3rd quarter, where Penn trails 7-3. The defense has been great, but it's going to come down to the offense to put some points on the board to get right back in this game. Once again, Elkhart 7, Penn 3. Tanner Camp, Matt Copsey, and Matt Lilly are back after the 60-second timeout here on 91.1 The Globe and the Regional Radio Sports Network.
For 30 years, the Lilliard Insurance Agency has been a proud sponsor of local sports in Michiana. The Lilliard Insurance Agency is an independent insurance provider which offers its customers auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. They are located at 410 Lincoln Way West in Osceola. For more information, the phone number is 574-674-0015, and their website is realvalueins.com. That's RealValueins.com.
The 2024 Indiana Football Digest is now available for online order at indianafootballdigest.com. This year's digest is packed to the brim not only with stats and scores, but in-depth and detailed analysis on each Indiana High School Athletic Association team. It also features a section on Indiana collegiate football and quotes from coaches from all around the state, giving readers an inside look at Indiana high school football. The 2024 Indiana Football Digest is available online at indianafootballdigest.com.
12 minutes of regulation as the Penn Kingsmen need to get a score in order to regain this lead. They've had the lead when it was 3-0, but once Elkhart scored, so we're going to switch sides of the field as Penn for the rest of this quarter going to go from right to left and Elkhart from left to right.
Heading north.
Isn't it amazing what technology can do nowadays?
Yeah,
From your phone, you can have the lights turn into strobe lights from your phone.
One receiver to the left, two to the right with Parker in the back. It's 2nd and 3 after the 7-yard pickup for Jadon Parker. Has had a nice little light show as Jadon Parker tries to bounce back to the outside. Staying on his feet. He breaks by a couple tackles, still on his feet, and he's going to pick up a first down for the Penn Kingsmen. Ball's going to be spotted right around the 30-yard line. It's going to be a 16-yard pickup here for the Kingsmen. And as a reminder, tonight's Kingsmen First Down brought to you by Chris Neal State Farm Insurance with their location at 1602 East State Road in Mishawaka. You can reach them for a quote today at 574-255-2900. We do have a player down here for the Lions, so they have stopped the clock.
I think that's Marion Dye.
Oh, my goodness. If that's Marion Dye, that is probably the one player for Elkhart that they cannot afford to lose. And might we add, regardless for the game, you never want to see any injury, and especially to that talented young man who's heading off to Tennessee next year.
Yeah, they're flexing his knee like it's a knee problem.
And
that's not good.
Fortunately, Matt Lillier, you are correct. It is Marion Dye. So he's going to be able to go on the field on his own, but he is limping.
He'll be back. Well, sometimes you just got to shake it off a little bit, let the pain
there's no
subside.
dirt, so rub some pellets in it.
Yeah.
So that did make it a first down, by the way.
14-yard gain.
A 14-yard gain for Jadon Parker, and that was a huge momentum shift here for the Gold Rush.
That was that outside zone stretch play that Penn's been running successfully this season. It hasn't worked yet tonight, but it did there.
Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Parker in the back here with Watson. 15 seconds gone by. Penn trails 7-3. Now the handoff for Parker. They go to the outside again, and he's just going to fall forward, and they're going to say that he didn't get much. Looks like maybe 2 on the carry.
He got to the 30.
For Jadon Parker. And they're actually going to say they got him to the 31, so they're saying the knee was down before he went forward, so it's going to be a 1-yard pickup for Jadon Parker. So 2nd and 9, ball to 31-yard line.
Jadon Parker is always one broken tackle away from taking it to the house. I'm sure that's what they're counting on here.
He's got the speed for it, so we'll see what the line up front is, especially with the absence of Marion Dye due to injury. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. 2nd and 9, ball at the Elkhart 31-yard line. Now Watson going to keep the ball for himself, work his way to the middle, still on his feet, and he is brought down by a pack of Lions, and he's going to get close to the 20-yard line.
They're going to call a hold on Penn.
And there is a penalty flag that goes against the Kingsmen.
Shoot.
And unfortunately, a bad penalty right there. That's going to bring that back. So it's a little over a minute gone by.
Can't give these yards back.
That's Penn's first penalty of the second half.
Unfortunately, as Matt Copsey said, yes, it was their only first one, but it is a costly one, as that most likely would have moved the chains and gotten the Kingsmen first down. So that is going to move the Kingsmen.
They were originally at the 31. It looks like this is going back to the 40.
41.
Yeah, 1st and 10 to 2nd and 20. Not what you want to do.
Well, it's going to be 2nd and 19.
There was the 1-yard pick. There was the 1-yard pickup. So one receiver to the left, two to the right. Parker in the back here with Watson. Watson dropping back, rolling out to his right with a quick toss now, and Parker's got blockers. Parker works his way in between, and he is hit hard on the side. Number 44, Chance McCullough. Parker went in between the two blockers, so he's going to get a solid pickup, almost actually past the initial line of scrimmage.
He got those 10
yards back.
No, well-executed screen pass to the left side of the field.
You're in 4-down territory here because a field goal does you no good.
And so the story for the Elkhart Lions now looks like Marion Dye is back. He does still have a little bit of a limp, but most likely, and he's still holding that knee, so he does need to be careful out there. But with 2 minutes gone by, 7-3 in favor of Elkhart. Penn needing to get inside of the to the 20 in order to get the first down. Now Watson drops back, looks to his right, doesn't have a lot of space, nearly slips on the turf, rolling back to his left, trying to get some blockers, and he slips into the turf. So we'll see where they spot him. It's either going to be the 29 or the 28, and it looks like they're going to say the 29-yard line. So it's going to be a pickup of about 2 for Kellen Watson. 4th and 7 and 9.5 minutes to go, and I think Matt Copsey's absolutely right. So they are going to stop the clock now. At least that's what the show was for. So the clock is going to continue to tick, even though I believe well, we'll see. So ball is now at the Penn 29-yard line with 4th and 7. Kingsman going to go for it. 1 receiver to the right, 2 receivers to the left. Jadon Parker in the back with Watson. Huge play here. They've converted one. Can they convert another? Watson, low snap, gets it for himself. Looking up to the middle. Tayshawn Bardo not able to make the grab. We do not hear Bardo slipping up on those passes, and it went right through his hands, and so it's going to be a turnover on down for the Kingsmen and Matt Lilliard. That was the right call, and we do not normally see that often from Tayshawn Bardo.
No, you don't. And we're going back to giving Kellen Watson time to go through his progressions here. He had Cohen Turner on the other side of the field standing all by himself. There wasn't anybody within 20 yards of him. Hopefully the Penn offensive coaching staff saw that, and we'll come back to that play.
So this is going to be important now on this drive. The Elkhart Lions, they lead 7-3 with 9 minutes and 5 seconds left. Keep in mind, Penn's only got 1 timeout remaining. Elkhart's got 2. So now Miller on the handoff, and he is brought down with aggression that time by Wilson Thomas. And so clock continues to roll, and it's going to be a pickup of 2 for Novell Miller.
I'm sure Coach Pete sent his Wild Bunch defense out there and said, get us that ball back, boys.
They've been great here defensively, and they're going to need to come up with another big stop to give themselves a chance as they trail by 4 here in this ball game. 8.5 minutes to go. 1 receiver to the left, 1 to the right. Now, once again, Quinn Rost. We've got Novell Miller just to his left hip. And for the Lions, looks like they're taking some time. 4 seconds on the play clock. And so now the handoff here for Pollard. And Pollard going to be brought down hard on the initial tackle. Number 9 that time, Wilson Thomas once again. So clock continues to run. So for number 11, or check that, number 14 and Carson Pollard going to pick up about 2 that time.
Yeah, Penn's defense is doing a great job of staying in position, not being fooled by the play action on that. It was a little end around by the slot receiver, and Penn was ready for it.
So it's under 8 minutes to go. 3rd and 6 here for Elkhart. They move from left to right. Penn from right to left. Penn trails 7-3. Elkhart to keep this clock going, and they're going to do just that with under 8 minutes to go. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Ross in the back here with Miller. Now Ross looks out to his left, and it's an incomplete pass. So the Wild Bunch once again making the big defensive stop. And not only that, it also stops the clock at 7:36. So with a 4th and 6 situation, once again, we're going to see Jordan Hart punt the football away, as it's going to be Peyton Horner and Tayshawn Bardo set to return this punt here for the Kingsmen.
Great coverage in the slot by Vinny Freeman on that last play. He did not bite on the play action and covered his man all the way through.
So here with 7.5 remaining in the 4th quarter, low snap, and oh my goodness, so now in a 4th down run, and it's going to be a pickup for Jordan Hart. So Jordan Hart, after the low snap, had no choice but to run the football. Ball was at the Elkhart 34-yard line, and he is going to end up picking up enough for the first down, and it looks like ball's going to be at the Penn 48-yard line. And so that right there was an 17-yard pickup for Jordan Hart. That is a complete change in this game.
Yeah, that was a botched snap. Elkhart has a punter that can run. Holy cow.
And that is a game-changer moment here in this game. Instead of Penn getting the football back, it's now 1st and 10, ball at the 49-yard line. Now the handoff here for Novell Miller. And Miller well past the 50-yard line, and he is going to be brought down right at the Penn 47-yard line, So a pick up that time of about 4, making it 2nd and 6 with 7 and change remaining in this game.
Well, you could feel the momentum shifting when Penn made that stop. That punter just flipped it again.
So again, that's Jordan Hart. He's been good with the punts, and his speed has just saved this Elkhart drive. Kingsman need to get a stop here based off the field position here at the Penn 47. Under 7 minutes to go, 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Now Miller again, and he is hit with force that time. Once again, Christian Bonner doing some great work up front. And
Spearfoss cleaning it up, and we've got some laundry on the
this
field.
is going to be a really important penalty.
Personal foul, face mask.
And they're going to get a face mask against the Kingsmen. And so the penalty against Penn.
Boy, you can feel the momentum shift.
And so a very, very wild drive here for Elkhart that at one point seemed like Penn was going to get the football back. Instead, because of the face mask, that's going to be a first down here for the Lions in just outside of the 30-yard line. Ball's going to be spotted at the Penn 32.
This set of downs right here is the most important set of downs in this game.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Ball in the Penn 32-yard line with 6.5 minutes to go. Elkhart leads 7-3, and Ross trying to go for the end zone, and it's going to be incomplete as the look that time was for, it looks like, based off what we see,
number 1?
Looks like it was number 1 in Frankie Willis.
Frankie Willis ran a fade pattern down the left side, and Colton Hernandez was step for step with him all the way down the field. Great, great coverage.
So the incomplete pass does stop the clock with 6 minutes and 25 seconds left. Remember, Penn's only got 1 timeout remaining. Elkhart has 2.
Yeah, Elkhart was trying to put a nail in the coffin right there on that play, and Penn wasn't having it.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Miller in the back here with Ross. Ross now hands it off to Miller. Miller working his way up the middle, and he's only going to get a couple after being brought down that time. Number 19 here for the Kingsmen. That's Jonathan Searfoss. Again, great to see him back out and on the field. Going to be a pickup, it looks like, of 2 that time. So it makes it 3rd and 8, ball at the 30-yard line.
Penn brings in their nickel coverage. They've got 5 defensive backs on the field, anticipating a pass play.
And we'll see what the Lions do. Keep in mind, Colin Krempik, his long on the year is 43 yards. He's only attempted 1 field goal all year long. 3rd and 8, and the Kingsmen faithful up and on their feet. They're trying to bring a 12th man onto the field. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Ross on the handoff, and now the Kingsmen don't fall for it that time. And once again, Kenny Welsh.
Kenny Welsh is making plays tonight, fellas.
And it was number 3 and Connor Dow who tried to run the football, and instead it is going to be a loss of 5 here for Connor Dow. And so now it's decision time for Trevon Curry. Clock is continuing to roll, and we'll see what they decide to do here.
They're going to punt, or they're going to pretend to punt. Penn now knows their punter can run, so they better be watching for the fake punt, because a fake punt could be big problems for the Kingsmen.
And so again, Jordan Hart, who has made the game's biggest play after the botched snap, and he ran the football. And so Hart is going to punt the football. This ball is high.
Touchback.
And this ball takes a touchback. No one was there to return for the Kingsmen, and that is a fortunate touchback. So 4:51 and a big drive here for the Kingsmen. They'll start at their own 20 and are looking to make a big offensive stand here. They've only got 1 timeout remaining. And that gives us a chance to thank some of our great friends once again, including our coverage of Penn High School sports on the Regional Radio Sports Network is presented by our friends at Harrison Sons Construction. For over a decade, Harrison Sons Construction have offered full-service remodeling and construction. Projects include kitchen, bathroom, and interior home remodeling. In addition, Harrison Sons Construction also offers roofing, siding, and interior and exterior painting. For more information on the services of Harrison Sons Construction, the phone number is 574-514-2104. Penn now on their own 20-yard line. And so now the run up top, and it is brought down by Jadon Parker on the run. And they're going to say no gain that time. And so clock continues to roll. Ball at the 20-yard line. 2nd and 10 here with 4.5 minutes left. The Casters tuning in. Elkhart leads 7-3 over the Penn Kingsmen. Penn moving from right to left. Elkhart left to right.
Penn has to throw something at him here that Elkhart hasn't seen them run this season yet.
Wouldn't be surprised if Penn maybe tried to pass. At the very least, what it would do, even if it's complete or incomplete, is it could stop the clock. But 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Now Watson looking in the middle for Bardo. Ball is up and in the air, and Elkhart nearly comes away with the interception. But that ball deflected up front by Carmine Orozco.
Yep.
Stop the clock with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left.
Penn had two receivers stacked on the short side of the field. They had Tayshaun Bardo
6'4", Dye is 6'6", so they're getting those big paws in the air. Penn is 0 for 9 on third down conversions tonight.
And this is a big one here. 4 minutes and 10 seconds left. One receiver to the left, 3 to the right. Parker in the back here with Watson. Watson rolls out to his right.
Timeout, Elkhart.
And there's going to be a timeout.
False
and
start,
it looks
Penn.
like a false start against Penn. They've limited their penalties, but they have been costly in this fourth quarter. So 4 minutes and 9 seconds left. That is going to push the Kingsmen back 5 yards here to their own 15. 3rd and 15 now here with 4:09 left as they trail 7-3.
Penn now with 8 penalties for 60 yards.
One receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Parker in the back here with Watson. Watson now drops back, looking to his right. He's got to be careful now. He's going to go with the deep shot, trying to find Bardo, and he's got him, and it's just over the outstretched arm of Tayshaun Bardo. And so clock stops at 4:03. And with 4th and 15,
they're going to punt.
And it looks like for Penn, they're going to punt the football. Set to return, it is Frankie Willis with Dylan Dodaro. He's going to need one of his best punts of the season to at least push Elkhart as far back as they can. And so Dodaro now, inside of the 5, right at the 1-yard line, ready to punt the football away. Play clock at 10. Low snap, gets a hold of this one. Good line drive punt. It is going to take right at the 47-yard line, and Willis stays on his feet. Little spin move before he is brought down with force by Vinny Freeman.
Freeman just showed off his wrestling skills out there and arch slammed the returner.
And the ball is going to be at the Penn 35-yard line. And with Penn only having one timeout remaining, the Wild Bunch going to have to continue their impressive second half. You got to expect for Elkhart, we will not be surprised if they run the football quite a bit on this drive.
Oh, they're only going to run the football all 4 downs. Someone's going to have to get that ball away from the carrier.
3:53 remaining in this fourth quarter. Penn trails 7-3.
Hold that runner up and strip that football.
One receiver to the left, one to the right. And so now Ross, man in motion here is Fred. Cow now, he's got the football and he's working his way up. And he's going to get to about the 30-yard line. Let's see where they spot him at. Looks like the 31-yard line. So pick up a 4 that time.
That's
here
Connor Dow.
For Connor Dow. So makes it 2nd and 5. Ball at the 31-yard line with 3.5 minutes remaining. And check that. They're going to only say he picked up 4. So it's going to be 2nd and 6 with under 3.5 minutes to go as the clock continues to tick.
They just brought in Cole Bennett on the defense.
We'll see what the tight end for the Gold Rush can do on the Wild Bunch here. No receivers to the left, one to the right. And so now, run up front now to the outside here for Ross. Ross spin moves back to the left. And the Wild Bunch, once again, Kenny Welsh making the initial tackle. And it's going to be a pickup, a 3rd and 4 situation after the 2-yard pickup here for Quinn Ross as the clock again continues to tick. Now under 3 minutes left. Elkhart leads 7-3.
Yeah, they brought in Cole Bennett so they have an extra defensive lineman out here in the hopes of slowing down this run game.
Well, Elkhart is 1 of 9 on third downs tonight.
And plain and simple, though, any type of first down, we'll see. That really puts the Kingsmen on the back of their heels. No receivers to the left, one to the right. The Penn fans trying to help their team and keep this play alive. And a couple in motion now as they move from left to right. Now here, Miller on the handoff now, works to an opening, falls down.
Short.
And I think he's going to be a yard short, and they're going to spot him at the 24.
Timeout, Penn. Penn called their final timeout.
And so ball at the 26-yard line, and Pete Reardon has called his final timeout here with 2 minutes and 16 seconds left.
It's going to be 4th and a yard.
And plain and simple, this next play could very well be for the game here tonight. That gives us a chance to thank some of our friends, including the Cuban Networks.
Tonight's broadcast is being underwritten by our friends at Cubit Networks. Located at 103 Polk Street in LaPorte, Cubit Networks takes pride in helping their customers stay happy for all their technology needs. More information can be found on their website at cubitnet.com or by phone at 219-369-4357.
Penn Kingsman Special Team sponsored by the Specialized Investment Team at Guidance Wealth. Build, protect, prosper on the web at guidancewealth.com. And tonight's Kingsman's First Down brought to you by Chris Neal State Farm Insurance. They're with their location at 1602 East State Road in Mishawaka. You can reach them for a quote today, 574-255-2900. 4th and 1, game on the line.
This is the game.
If the Lions get a first down, that's going to seal the deal here tonight. Bundled up front, only one receiver far to the left. Miller is in the back with Ross. The Penn Kingsman, the Wild Bunch, is bunched up. Now Miller pushes his way forward, and he is going to get the first down, and that is most likely going to put a bow on this one as Novell Miller is going to get, looks like, two, right around, depending.
Yep,
and so stop the clock for the first down. They move the chains that was ball going to be at the 22-yard line, so a 4-yard pickup for Novell Miller. And that most likely is going to be the end of this game, but we'll see what happens. 1st and 10, ball at the 22-yard line, under 2 minutes left. Elkhart leads Penn 7-3.
Elkhart's going to take no chances here.
They're going to take a knee.
And so Elkhart taking their time here. 4 seconds on the play clock, a minute 40 left on the game clock. Handoff now here for Novell Miller, right up the middle. Hit with force that time by Jonathan Searfoss. Novell Miller on the pickup. He's going to be inside the 20 as we'll spot him. Looks like a 4-yard pickup for Novell Miller. They're going to actually say 5, making it 2nd and 5.
The only way Penn has a shot here at all is if they can strip this football. And I can't imagine they're going to run many more plays. We've got a minute 15 left on the clock. They really shouldn't have to run any more plays.
We'll see what they do here for the Lions. Ball at the 18-yard line, 2nd and 6, so they are going to get the floor there for Miller.
If I was them, I'd be taking knees.
And so we'll see as Ross now he gets the snap, a handoff to Novell Miller right up the middle. Kingsman trying to strip the football, and they can't do so. And so it's going to be ball at the 15-yard line, so a 3-yard pickup for Novell Miller. Makes it 3rd and 3, and plain and simple. If the Elkhart Lions take a knee, they can get one more play, and then that will be the end of this ball game. And the Elkhart fans on the far side
are going wild.
First time that the Lions have beaten the Kingsmen. You got to go back to their first ever meeting on September 18th in 2020 with a 20-19 victory. And so ball to 50 with 15 seconds left. Handoff to Miller once again. He's still on his feet, staying on his feet, and he'll be brought down inside of the 10. That's the first down, and that's going to do it. The Elkhart Lions have defeated the Penn Kingsmen as they are going to stop the clock to move the chains, but once they move the chains, and that clock continues to resume, so with 5 seconds left, and the Elkhart Lions are going to defeat the Penn Kingsmen here on homecoming by a final score of 7-3. So with the win, the Elkhart Lions in a battle of two teams ranked 11th in the 6A polls of the IFCA. Elkhart now improves to 6-1 overall, extends their winning streak to 6, and are now the only undefeated team remaining in the Northern Indiana Conference. Meanwhile, Penn drops to 5-2 overall and 4-1 in NIC play. That's going to add up our final stats. We're going to take a 3-minute timeout. We come back. We'll thank some more of our friends, and then we're going to get ready to put a bow on this one as the two teams shaking hands in the middle. But once again, final score from here at Everwise Freed Field, the Elkhart Lions 7, the Penn Kingsmen 3. Back after this 3-minute timeout here on the Regional Radio Sports Network and on 91.1 FM The Globe.
Did you know there's a place right here in Michiana that provides comfort and care for families of sick or injured children? Ronald McDonald House Charities of Michiana gives families everything they need, whether it's a hot shower, a comfortable bed, or a home-cooked meal. This allows parents to truly prioritize the health and well-being of their child. Because of people in this community just like you, RMHC Michiana provides their services at zero cost to the families. Find out how you can volunteer or donate to rmhcmichiana.org.
Live from Beef O'Brady's in Granger, it's the Coach's Box every Thursday night at 6 on 91.1 The Globe, hosted by Indiana Hall of Fame broadcaster Paul Condry. The Coaches Box features in-depth interviews with high school and collegiate level athletes from all around the region. Get the inside scoop from coaches and get a good look at the behind-the-scenes world of Indiana athletics. Tune into the Coaches Box, once again live every Thursday at 6 on 91.1 The Globe.
Eric Gunther and State Farm Insurance are proud to underwrite a portion of tonight's game on the Regional Radio Sports Network. Eric's office is located at 356 South Michigan Street in South Bend. Under State Farm Insurance Agency, Eric offers auto and health insurance, as well as financial services. For more information on these or other products that State Farm offers, Eric can be reached at 574-291-1597. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The 2024 Indiana Football Digest is now available for online order at indianafootballdigest.com. This year's digest is packed to the brim not only with stats and scores, but in-depth and detailed analysis on each Indiana High School Athletic Association team. It also features a section on Indiana collegiate football and quotes from coaches from all around the state, giving readers an inside look at Indiana high school football. The 2024 Indiana Football Digest is available online at indianafootballdigest.com.
Beef O'Brady's is a locally owned, family-operated restaurant designed for food and sports, featuring appetizers, wraps, pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and wings. Beef O'Brady's also broadcasts televised sporting events. The State Road 23 Granger location has carryout service and includes a party room and outside patio. More information is available on their website, beefobradys.com, or by calling 574-271-1415. Again, that's 574-271-1415. Beef O'Brady's. Good food, good sports.
For 30 years, the Lilliard Insurance Agency has been a proud sponsor of local sports in Michiana. The Lilliard Insurance Agency is an independent insurance provider which offers its customers auto, home, business, life, and health insurance. They are located at 410 Lincoln Way West in Osceola. For more information, the phone number is 574-674-0015, and their website is realvalueins.com. That's REALVALUEINS.com.
Welcome back here to Everwise Free Field. Tanner Camp, Matt Copsey, and Matt Lilliard after Penn falls to Elkhart for the first time since 2020. Penn still leads the all-time series 5-2, but in the end, Elkhart now remains as the only undefeated team in the Northern Indiana Conference. They do so by winning on Penn's homecoming by a final score in a low-scoring game of 7-3. And we got a couple other great friends that we want to thank as Matt continues to add up the stats. We'll also get you a quick scoreboard update thanks to the 2024 Indiana Football Digest. One of those friends is over at the Beaver Law Office.
The Beaver Law Office is located at 3430 Bremen Highway in Mishawaka next to the 331 Meyer store. Attorney Ray Beeler has been practicing law since 2001 and is a 1980 Penn High School graduate. She offers her clients estate planning, including power of attorneys, wills and living wills, probate administration, bankruptcy, business guardianship, and other family law services. The phone number for the Beeler Law Office in Mishawaka is 888-633-1361.
And again, we also want to thank all of our other sponsors throughout the game, including the tonight's Kingsman First Downs, brought to you by Chris Neal and State Farm Insurance, with their location at 1602 East State Road in Mishawaka. You can reach them for a quote today at 574-255-2900. Also, the Kingsman Special Teams are sponsored by the Specialized Investment Team at Guidance Wealth. Build, protect, prosper on the web at guidancewealth.com. We also want to thank at Harrison Sons Construction as our coverage of Penn High School sports on the Regional Radio Sports Network is presented by our friends at Harrison Sons Construction. For over a decade, Harrison Sons Construction have offered full-service remodeling and construction. Projects include kitchen, bathroom, and interior home remodeling. In addition, Harrison Sons Construction also offers roofing, siding, and interior and exterior painting. For more information on the services of Harrison Sons Construction, the phone number is 574-514-2104. Also want to give a chance to thank some of our other great friends, and that includes over at Ivy Tech Community College. Ivy Tech credits transfer to more than 100 colleges and universities in Indiana and outside the state, with more than 20 degrees qualifying for guaranteed admission at the largest four-year institutions in the state. Classes that fit your busy life in person, online, and in between. Enrollment's open for an October 21st start. Visit ivytech.edu/apply. Once again, big thanks to all of our sponsors. And so now time to take a look at this quick scoreboard update here from Scoreboard Central, sponsored by the 2024 Indiana Football Digest. More information available at indianafootballdigest.com. Com. South Bend St. Joe takes care of South Bend Riley by a final score of 29-0. Concord all over Goshen to dominate the Northern Lakes Conference 49-0. That is a final. How about Plymouth right now? They're one of the hottest teams in the NLC. They defeat Northwood by a final score of 14-10. That's a great win for Adam Hanley's Rockies. Back-to-back impressive wins.
Dwayne Lewandowski just brought me over a score. Ben Davis 51, Carmel 30 in the fourth quarter.
Wow. So Ben Davis, the 6A state
defense
champ.
is optional.
Defense is optional.
The opposite of tonight's game here.
So then Carroll and Homestead, as Fort Wayne Carroll ends up defeating Homestead 31-10. And as already made mention, Warsaw defeats Mishawaka. Impressive win for Bart Curtis's group against his former school, 22-13. That is a final. Also, Lafayette Central Catholic, one of the premier powerhouses in all of 2A, wins 35-13 against Tipton. That is a final. And so now we're just about ready to get our stats over here. Once again, thanks to the 2024 Indiana Football Digest for Scoreboard Central tonight. Matt Copsey's got our final numbers. Matt Copsey, take it away.
Thanks, Tanner. Penn, 8:08 mark of the opening quarter. Dylan DeDario's 24-yard field goal. Penn led 3-0 after one quarter. And then Connor Dow, a 1-yard run at the 6:22 mark of the second quarter. Colin Krepnick's extra point, 7-3. That's it. There was no scoring the rest of the game. 10 first downs for Elkhart, 8 for Penn. Taking a look here, Elkhart had 7 punts for an average of 33 yards. Penn had 5 punts for an average of 33 yards as well. Elkhart 7 penalties for 58 yards. Penn 8 penalties for 65 yards. Just 1 turnover in the ball game, a fumble recovery by Connor Dow. Elkhart was 2 of 11 on third down conversions, the biggest one coming in the final minute of the ball game. Penn was 0 of 10. Taking a look at some individual numbers, Connor Dow was 1 of 1 passing for 32 yards. Quinn Ross was 5 of 10 for 22 yards. Connor Dow had 1 catch for 8 yards. Then you also had Alfonso Newbern with 2 catches for 3 yards. Then you had Carson Pollard, 1 catch for 32 yards. Keelan Fred had 1 catch for 6 yards. And Frankie Willis, 1 catch for 5 yards. Running the ball, Novell Miller, 26 carries for 62 yards. Quinn Ross, 6 carries for 13 yards. You had Newbern, 1 carry for 13 yards. Then you had Connor Dow, 4 carries for 18 yards. Carson Pollard, 1 carry for 2 yards. And maybe the biggest carry of the night was Jordan Hart, the 1 carry for 15 yards on the botched punt. Elkhart finishes with 54 total yards, 54 yards passing, 141 yards rushing, for a total of 195. For Penn, Kellen Watson was 6 of 12 for 33 yards. You had, taking a look here, Tayshawn Bardo, 3 catches for 17 yards. Cole Bennett, 1 catch for no yards. And then Jadon Parker, 2 catches for 16 yards. Parker finishes 16 carries for 55 yards. Watson, 9 carries for 48 yards. And then Tyler Stuck had 3 carries for 4 yards. So 36 yards through the air for Penn. No, 33 yards through the air for Penn. And 107 yards on the ground, 140 total yards for Penn. Elkhart improves to 6-1. They will be at home against Marion next Friday night at Rice Field. Penn drops to 5-2, 4-1 in the conference play. They will be at Amson Miller Field to take on New Prairie next Friday night.
They got the fireworks going on, so if that's why you hear the popping, it's because they got fireworks going on just right up and above the Yeoman Family Plaza, and in between also for the Chris Kingsman Athletic Center. And so all the fireworks going off. A couple things we need to do, and that's first and foremost, name our Lillard Insurance players of the game for both teams, and we'll start things off with the victorious Elkhart Lions. And number of key players. If it was just one play alone, you could give it to the punter in Jordan Hart for his game-saving punt. If he doesn't get that run, it could have been a completely different ballgame. But Matt Lilley, when we were talking during this, you gave a lot of credit to both lines, but in particular for tonight, you're going with the offensive line here for the Elkhart Lions.
Yep, we said it before the game started. Whoever won in the trenches was going to win this game. You know, both sides of the ball for Elkhart, their defensive front played a heck of a game. They gave fits to Kellen Watson. He had no time to throw the ball the entire night. It would be easy to give it to them too, but this offensive line stayed with the game plan, and they were getting movement off the ball. You know, it was their game. They finished this game out for the Elkhart Lions on the ground, and it was because of that offensive line. So well done, Kyle Sommer, Nate Franklin, Keaton Thompson, Cordell McPhee, Ethan Mann. And Cordell McPhee, holy cow, we were out on the field before the game started, and I was standing next to him. He looks bigger than 6'5", 295. He's got to be getting some looks from some major programs.
I thought you mentioned that Marion Dye and Carmine Orozco were in there for a couple plays too.
Yeah.
To try to push.
Yep, they were. They played really well too. When called on, they got to push up front.
So it's going to be the Elkhart offensive line for our players of the game here for the Elkhart side, and meanwhile for our Literate Insurance Agency player of the game for the Wild Bunch. Tell you what, you could honestly just give it to the defense. The reality is they held their Elkhart team to their lowest point total, and in most games, that is going to win you the ball game. And really a name that we called a lot and made some big plays, not just big tackle from perspective, but in terms of momentum and Matt Lilley, you're plain and simple. We're giving this one, and this was with fairly easy decision. It's got to be number 42, Kenny Wells.
Yep, the junior inside linebacker played really, really well. He's played well all season, I'll say that. But tonight, he played impassioned football. He was all over the field. He was making solo tackles when he needed to. He had a couple tackles for losses. He had a great game. So good job.
So it's going to be the Elkhart offensive line of Kyle Summer, Nate Franklin, Keaton Thompson for Darryl McPhee, and Ethan Mann for the Elkhart Lions for our Lilley Insurance Agency player of the game. And it's going to be Kenny Wells for the Penn Kingsman, our player of the game. So again, thanks to Lilley Insurance Agency. As Matt Copsey mentioned, next up for both teams, Penn is going to be at New Prairie next Friday night in New Carlisle. Meanwhile, for the Elkhart Lions, they're going to be back at home at Rice Field as they will host the Mishawaka Marion Knights. That's going to do it for our coverage of Penn High School football here on the Regional Radio Sports Network and on 91.1 FM The Globe. Big thank you to both head coaches, and Pete Reardon for the Penn Kingsmen and Trevon Curry for the Elkhart Lions. Got to give credit to Trevon Curry. He's taken over this program, and it is a different team than it has been the last couple of years. So credit to him, and best of luck to the Lions the rest of the season. And, of course, to Pete Reardon, looking forward to hanging out with him and the Kingsmen next week in New Carlisle. The entire game day staff here, always great to be here at Freed Field, whether it's for the food, whether it's for the conversation, and everything else in between. Of course, to our athletic directors, Jeff Hart and Bridget Williams, for of course the great work that they have done. The great work they've done, of course, thanks to, of course, Superintendent Dr. Jerry Thacker for allowing us the opportunity to get to be here for tonight. Of course, to our Globe board operator, Cormac Koop-Lichty, always great to talk back and forth with him throughout the course of the week to make sure that we are ready to go. Of course, to Paul and Tanya Condry and Mike Knezovich for giving us the opportunity to hang out here for some Friday night lights. And, of course, to my crew for here tonight, Matt Lillier and Matt Copsey. Always a pleasure to work with these two fine gents, and we look forward to being at New Carlisle next week as the Penn Kingsmen get ready to take on the New Prairie Cougars. And once again, as we want to remind you here on the Regional Radio Sports Network that it's all thanks to our great friends that make it possible for us to get the broadcast no matter where we are at. And that includes, as a reminder, that high school football on the Regional Radio Sports Network presented by the Lillard Insurance Agency, Harrison Sons Construction, Chris Neal State Farm Insurance, Beef O'Brady's, McDonald Physical Therapy, Clover Machinery Movers, A's Rental, Guidance Wealth, Zolman Tire, the 2024 Indiana Football Digest, the Coach's Box, Cuban Networks, Eric Gunther State Farm Insurance, the Beeler Law Office, Flags International, the Ronald McDonald House Charities, and Ivy Tech Community College. Once again, our final score from here at Everwise Freed Field, the Elkhart Lions give the Penn Kingsmen their first loss in Northern Indiana Conference play by a final score of 7-3. For all of us at the Regional Radio Sports Network and everyone here at Everwise Freed Field, my name is Tanner Camp, saying have a great rest of your Friday night, have a great rest of your weekend. Don't forget, October 13th, the IHSAA High School Football Pairing shows on IHSAA Champions Network with Paul Condry and Bob Lovell from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great rest of your weekend, folks, and so long from Everwise Freed Field here on the campus of Penn High School here in beautiful Osceola, Indiana.
Broadcasting from the campus of Goshen College, this is WGCS Goshen.
Goshen Brewing Company is a solar and wind-powered brew pub that